all. Eligibility restrictions, max refund £20, T's and C's apply.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio, on the hour news headlines.
I'm Carl Hartley, good evening. 21 people have been treated after the use of a chemical nerve agent in Salisbury on Sunday. 2 people, a former Russian spy and his daughter, remain in a critical condition. The Prime Minister has paid tribute to a police officer who was also taken ill when responding to the incident. Baroness Neville Jones is a former Security and Counter-Terrorism Minister. She says if Russia is behind the attack, there must be a tough response.
We now need to get together, I think, and make it clear, that we are going to defend our societies, we are going to deter military activity. At the same time, we will talk to Russia, but on terms, and not on the basis of lawless activity.
Donald Trump is promising to introduce tariffs on steel and aluminium within 15 days, sparking concerns about a trade war. He condemned the practice of dumping cheap steel and says he's acting in the US national interest.
Today, I'm defending America's national security by placing tariffs on foreign imports of steel and aluminum. We will have a 25% tariff on foreign steel and a 10% tariff on foreign aluminum.
The president's confirmed that Mexico and Canada will be exempt. Survivors of September's Parson Green tube bombing have been describing the moment they were burnt.
Sometimes life, mate. Turns out I've been doing it wrong the whole time. I didn't know that the back camera on the iPhone...
Unfortunately, better quality than the front camera. Restored after the chain was left with no chicken. Around 900 of its restaurants had to temporarily close when it changed to DHL. And Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have continued their tour of the UK with a trip to Birmingham. The royal couple gave out some careers advice to children who'd braved the rain to meet them. After a dry night for most, tomorrow we'll see bright spells for many in northern areas, whereas southern England and Wales will be wet, highs of 9 degrees.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making it all.
Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee. After last night's potentially award-winning and also potentially litigious show, where we didn't have our regular producer because she was too busy going off and gallivanting around town, carousing and gallivanting. She was dillying and she was dallying, despite the advice of her old man. She ignored that. She didn't shilly-shally, but there was dilly-dallying, there was dillying, there was dallying, there was dallying, there was dillying, there was carousing, carousing.
And there was some cockle in it.
There was what in it?
Yeah.
Cock in it?
Cockle in it.
Okay. Catherine Boyle is back, and to celebrate you coming back, I've got 2 of your favourite callers on, Iain and Cadix.
Hello.
Say hello to Catherine.
Evening, Catherine.
Yep.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm drunk.
Oh no, Iain.
Can you help me? No, this is serious.
Don't think I can.
No, like, what happened? I've been phoning people in this house to come and see me, and I've had car full of boys come to see me now, and I don't know what to do.
Well, I want to know what you got up to last night, Kath.
I know. They showed me their guns outside in public. I phoned the police, and I ended up phoning the police, and the police keep ringing me back now, and I'm scared.
What? Hang on. I kind of tuned out, boys, to be honest, but then I tuned back in again. They showed you their what?
And what happened, quickly, I'm drunk, so I rang my friend to come down, just doing it, 2 friends, in one car, and they come down with another 2 cars full of boys, and they come out, and it...
I'm confused.
Yeah, he's put the phone down. Did he say guns or bums? Bums. Well, I think he knows exactly what to do, and I think he's just realised and he's off to do it. Like a rat up a drain pipe.
2 cars full.
Of bums. Some people are born without bum. Oh, there's a brilliant bum story. Where is it? Page 21 of the Sun.
Are you ready for a bum story, Alan?
This is great. I've been following this story, not too closely, and you'll see why. But there's this guy that the police have suspected this has been going on for a while. Police have suspected that he was like a drug dealer or something. And he'd swallowed the drugs, and they were waiting for him to do a poo.
Yeah, and he's been holding on to it, hasn't he?
A suspected drugs dealer who went 47 days without a poo has been released amid fears that not going to the toilet could kill him. Because your insides explode and the poo gets into your bloodstream and you get septicemia and you die. Lamar Chambers, 24, was arrested on January the 17th and charged with possessing drugs with intent to supply. He was suspected of scoffing a batch of drugs.
Scoffing.
Man, it's the 90s all over again. During a chase. Police were unable to tell for certain because he refused to do a number 2, breaking the previous record of 33 days. Chambers...
Why am I thinking record breakers?
Where's White Castle when you need him?
He's in the ground. If you're the fattest, the thinnest, if you need the shittest, you're the... Chambers, who had continued eating and drinking in his cell...
No, well, he must have done one and hidden it.
Was said to have rejected the offer of laxatives and an X-ray at Harlow Police Station. This week, the case against him was dropped after prosecution lawyers decided it was no longer in the public interest. A source close to the investigation claimed the decision was linked to serious health concerns for Chambers.
Oh dear.
Whose lawyer had argued he was at the risk of dying without treatment. That first one is really good. It's going to rip his arse apart, isn't it? That, you know that thing when you need to go to the toilet, but you don't, and then you drive home, and then by then it's too late, and you've got to work it out with a pencil. That is painful enough. 47 days without passing stools?
I just don't believe it. There was a charming story last week from America. Did you hear that one about the woman who had tried to hide drugs that she'd been caught with by doing a poo and pushing them in?
Pushing them in the poo?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She did a poo in her pants and tried to use the poo to cover the drugs with.
Oh my God!
Listen, I've snorted some bad shit in my time, but we're joking about it, and we shouldn't joke about it. I've got health advice. Sun doctor Carol Cooper writes, "Going this length of time without doing a poo is bad for your health.
So are drugs.
The stools become harder until they form a thick plug. God's own butt plug." Which is the title of my autobiography, which is coming out in a couple of months. Evacuation then becomes impossible without help. The bowel above the blockage swells and can squeeze or displace other organs, so it can push your liver up to your throat. It has been known for a fatal heart attack to result. So tonight's phone-in...
what was wrong with Elvis? Did he get compacted bowel?
I think that was too much junk food.
Well, here we go. This is tonight's phone-in. What's the longest you've gone without going to the toilet? Have you ever drunk your own urine? Joe Swash told... I was with Joe Swash today.
Else's.
Have you? Whose?
By accident.
Whose?
My sister's.
Why? What, you just... What? What were you doing down there?
She spiked my drink.
Really? Go on.
We'd had a fight.
Yeah.
I thought we'd made up. I ordered her to go and make me a drink.
Yeah.
She really did make me a drink.
Wow. Joe Swash was telling me that he was at like someone's party and he was a bit drunk. So and there was the toilet was full, so he peed in a Lucozade bottle, and then he threw it in the bin. But then his mates put it in the fridge, and when he woke up the next day and was hungover, he opened it and he glugged down a whole bottle of his own urine.
Wow.
Joe Swash.
Wouldn't you notice the taste?
Well, he like just woken up and he had a hangover and he was like glug glug glug, and then like he said on the 5th glug, he realised what was going on and what it was he was drinking.
But there are some people who do it through choice because they say it's some sort of health.
Yes, people. Alan, thanks so much for getting the conversation started. There 0344 499 1000. Yeah, there are people that think drinking. By the way, Joe Swash is going to come on the show at some point.
Good, I like him.
He's going to come on the show. I've managed to get his phone number tonight. I say got it. It was when he went to the toilet, he left his phone, so I rang my phone from his phone, so I've got his number like that. Yeah, so people do drink their own wee. We know that.
Demi Moore.
I would drink her wee. Okay, and I said this to Swash. I said I would drink his urine for £500. How much would you... Okay, this is the phone in for tonight, right? 0344 499 1000. How much would it cost for you to drink Joe Swash's urine? 0344 499
Direct from the source or in a glass?
No. We're not. I'm not doing any of that kinky stuff. This isn't for. I don't want this for perverts, coprophiles, or any of that stuff. This is not.
It's science.
Thank you. This is not titillation. This is not cheap toilet humour.
Well,
this is science, and the science is. And I'm going to tweet this in a second. How much would it cost for you to drink Joe Swash's urine? It would cost. I would have to be paid £500 to do it, and I would. Yes, of course. I've eaten a pig's vagina. Maybe that was for tens of thousands, but yeah, of course.
Had they cooked it?
Well, no, they said it. No, I don't think they had. No, they said it. They were all prepared, but I don't think it had been cooked. No, it hadn't been cooked. Not been cleaned.
They washed it.
They definitely gave it. Well, hopefully they run it under a cold tap for a couple of minutes at least. At least.
You'd think they'd boil it or something.
No.
I mean, it's raw meat. It's very raw meat.
Well, it's the rawest meat you can find. We didn't have any of this yesterday when you weren't here. I don't know if you listened, but we had. I hope you did, because we had. We had Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney on, and Ringo Starr OBE came on. We had... is he Sir Ringo Starr now? I think he's Sir Ringo Starr. We had the Sir Beatles on. The Sir Beatles. We had some great guests, some great calls, very passionate stories. We had a call from someone who had been left at Bernardo's when he was 3 and told his story about being reunited. We reunited him with his mother on here. We had some great discussion, and we got pretty close to discovering the meaning of life, why we're here. Really intense, heavy show.
Yeah, you're a lying get, because I was listening and I heard none of that.
Oops. It was all Sam's fault. Let's go to the ads.
Talk Radio. Intelligent, organic entertainment.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.
Much better.
Looking for the perfect Mother's Day gift? We've got just the thing at the perfume
How's that
shop.
picture so
Spoil
much
your
better?
mum with Marc Jacobs Oh So Decadent. On offer now from $32.99 for 50ml, saving you £31. Plus we can gift wrap it for free, so you don't have to. Shop in store or online at theperfumeshop.com. Offer ends 14th of March while stocks last.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
eBay. Snap it, list it, sell it. The easy way to make room for the new you this spring. Download the app and start selling now. eBay. Fill your cart with colour.
1 2 1 2. Music's always best when it's live. Same as Sky Vegas bonus time. That baby's live right now.
Between 9 and 11 every night, our unmissable bonus game is guaranteed to trigger in Sky Vegas bonus time. Only at Sky Vegas, and expect more. 18 plus, ends 3rd of July. Customers must be playing when bonus games randomly triggered. Minimum 20p stake. Free spins must be claimed and used by midnight. Eligibility restrictions and further T's and C's apply. BeGambleAware.org. And fun stops, stop.
Hello, sir. So you're interested in our Vivaro van with up to
4 years warranty?
Exactly. Plus up to 4 years servicing. Right again. And 4 years... 0% APR finance with Vauxhall Help to Buy.
Really?
Search Vauxhall Vivaro. Vauxhall. British brand since 1903. Conditional sale. 4 years 0% APR. Minimum 20% deposit plus VAT at 20% on total price. Financed by Vauxhall Finance. Subject to status. 18 plus. Business users only. T's and C's. Mileage limitations and exclusions apply.
You know, it doesn't have to have it immediately.
You can say anything to a mate. Anything. Call them every name under the sun. Wind them up. Bring them down a peg. Tell them stuff you never thought you'd tell anyone. Because they're proper mates. Like brothers. When it's a mate, you say what you feel like saying. Except, I love you, man. And I'm not going to let you drink drive. Stupid, innit? Mates don't let mates drink drive. Think.
Set free your mind. Let your fancy take flight. Conversation gets curiouser by the glow of moonlight. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Busy old show tonight it's going to be. How much would it cost for you to drink Joe Swash's urine? I like Joe, and I don't know Joe very well. I've only met him a couple of times. We were doing this. We were doing this thing together. I'm probably not allowed to talk about it, but Ant and Dec were there. Let's just say. And I like Joe, and I was trying to explain to him what the radio show was. And
what radio show?
No, this radio show. Oh. I couldn't explain it to him. He's going, so what do you talk about the news? I said, well, no. He said, well, what will you talk about tonight? I said, well, I'll probably talk about you. But little did I know that I'll be talking about his urine. 0344 499 1000. I don't think yesterday we talked about UFOs. Quite happy for your UFO stories again, because we only kind of scratched the surface. We got a little bit sidetracked with an argument about the art of noise yesterday. If you missed it, how long was it? About 40 minutes?
No, it's, well, because you had 2 hits on it, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't include the second hit. The second hit was mean.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well.
It wasn't. You needed telling.
No, I shouldn't have phoned it back. That was mean.
I think all in all it's about 35 minutes.
There you go. 35 minutes arguing about the art of noise and Kraftwerk. I mean, it really is very, very niche. That's up as a podcast now on iTunes and at talkradio.co.uk. If you go to the funny section, if you go to funny on talkradio.co.uk, you get all of our podcasts. If you get it on iTunes, then please subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. But I don't think we got sidetracked by that, so we didn't really get to the bottom of a lot of the UFO stories. I'm up for more UFO stories tonight. I love that. If you've seen them, because you know that there are people, and Jamie and Philip, I'll come to you in a second, I promise. There are people who claim to, or don't even claim to have been abducted by aliens, but they'll go to a doctor, right, and there'll be like a little bit of metal under their skin, like a little disc or a dot.
Or a grain of rice, as you said.
Well, no, it could be. No, what I was saying with that was, we don't, the person I was talking to was very, very narrow-minded, small-minded. There's a word I want to say, but it's politically incorrect to say it now, so I'm just going to say an idiot child. And he assumed that alien technology would look like Earthling technology, that it will be metal or glass and plastic stuff. But it's not. Alien technology, an alien video recorder might look like a human poo. Or an alien Walkman. I don't know why I'm doing technology from the 80s, but an alien iPod could look like a fingernail, human fingernail. You go, what's that human fingernail? But really, that's how it. So we just very narrow-minded conversation. So I want to spread that open if we can. 0344 499 1000. Animals superfluous. That's the word I was trying to think of. Animals that are superfluous, right? We are facing a crisis on this planet of there's not enough space for humans, and we know that because of the housing crisis in this country, but also there's not enough food. And the reason, I was thinking about this a lot in the 5 minutes before the show tonight, the reason there's not enough food is because there are too many animals eating what we could eat, eating our food. So the solution to this is obvious, and it would create more food for us, in that there'll be more food left and we could eat the animals, and also it would create more space so we could build more housing, and I would make sure that 10% of that housing was affordable. What does that mean? That's my get out clause. And the way we could do this is by getting rid of superfluous animals.
Such as?
The alpaca. What does it do?
Wool.
Right. I don't know if you've heard of... Can I just interrupt you there for a second?
You will.
I don't know if you've heard of the thing called sheep. We get wool from sheep. We don't need alpaca wool.
Okay.
So we don't need alpacas.
Right.
So we're going to get rid of the alpaca.
Might as well do llamas as well, because they're very similar.
Yep, okay. Alpaca.
Peruvians are going to be furious.
I know, we're keeping them. We're keeping Peruvians. I'm not killing races yet. Although, if I'm honest, Chinese had better be watching
Is it time to sod the panda?
Oh, I've said for ages we should just put the panda out of its misery.
Yeah.
Instead of humiliating it and making it hump in front of tourists in Edinburgh, let's just shoot them. So alpaca, llama, panda. Controversially, because this doesn't actually help create space or solve the food thing, but dolphins.
Oh.
Just because
I like them.
No, arrogant little shits.
Hey, Randy.
Do
you remember that one?
The one that inserted its penis inside a woman,
No.
and she had a baby.
No.
She had a dolphin-human hybrid.
I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about the one that there was a woman that came to a consumer program that we used to know and love.
Yeah.
Because she'd been on holiday in Cuba and taken part in a dolphin show.
Yeah.
And part of the show was the dolphin humping her on the side of the pool.
Yeah.
Broke her pelvis.
Yeah, no, these things happen. At least it didn't break her hymen.
Or her heart.
So animals that were superfluous.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
Yours is probably more painful. Have you ever spent the night... Have you ever spent the night in a cell? I haven't. I'd flippin' love to. I would love to. 0344 499 1000. And the last thing that you taped on a VHS or a Betamax video recorder, please. If you've still got your video cassette recorder under your telly and it's all wired up and you still tape EastEnders on it, or you go back and you watch Carlito's Way or something, or Scent of a Woman, then 0344
just for Chino
499 1000. I bet Philip's still got a video recorder set up, haven't you, Philip?
Well, I did. I wish I had, because I've got so many videos, that I would like. Fortunately, I did manage to buy some years ago the one where you can transfer them to DVD on the same machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're good, they are.
Yeah. The reason I rung in, I wanted to have a quick word with Catherine.
Okay.
Something happened today on the train,
Here we go.
and I just wonder what Catherine thought about it.
Oh.
Well, I was going up to London, Catherine, and I got to about 2 stations after I got on, and this lady got on, I would think mid-20s, and the train was not particularly crowded, and I was sitting in the seats where you've got 4. You've got 2 people there each side. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, this lady went and sat directly opposite me. Now, she looked, and I'm not being rude, she looked like she was either going for an audition for Wicked, or she was in the cast of Wicked.
Oh.
Why? Green face?
Well, a lot of makeup of various forms. Anyway, she sits down, Catherine,
A lot of makeup
and she
of various
takes her
forms.
makeup out.
Oh, yes.
And for about 20 minutes, I was captive. Completely opposite. She was doing her makeup.
Yeah.
Her makeup case was the size of a tablet. The computer, the Android tablet.
Yeah.
And this went on from New Beckenham Station to Charing Cross. And when I got to Charing Cross, I got off, and most of the other people did too, and she sat there, and people came up to me and said, well, what's going on there? What's up with her? Now, would you do your makeup on a train, Catherine?
No, I wouldn't, but she can do what she wants.
I know she can, but why did she do it, in front of me?
She might not have had time at home.
It's Day of the Lady.
I know it's International Ladies' Day, Ian, but, I had this argument earlier on with my sister. The thing was, it just did not make sense to me.
Well,
why would you go and sit when you've got a space on a train, sit opposite a guy and do your makeup? She'd already got a lot of makeup on, Catherine.
Okay, well...
So I don't know why she was putting extra makeup on.
None of your business.
It is. It's in my space, isn't it?
But it isn't.
Oh.
It's in a public space. She's public too.
I know a train is a public space, but seriously, Catherine, would you, all right, you might come out in the morning, perhaps you haven't done your eyelashes or you haven't put your lipstick on, but this was a full-on 20 minutes at least, and she's still doing it when the train got into Charing Cross Station.
I've seen people do a lot worse things on trains, so makeup, thumbs up.
Did you see the picture of the fella in the papers yesterday or the day before, right? He's on an aeroplane,
I did
right?
see those pictures.
He's on an aeroplane, and he's stripped off naked.
I know. She didn't do that.
And he's watching a porno, and he starts knocking one out
I saw that.
On an aeroplane, naked! And then the air stewardess said, excuse me, sir, would you mind switching off the pornography, stopping masturbating, and putting your clothes back on? He had a go at her!
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to that extreme, but, I mean, so you would think that was perfectly alright, Catherine?
What, a man masturbating on an aeroplane?
No. What this lady was doing on the train, from, I mean, why did she come and sit in front of me?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why are you so upset by this, Philip?
Well, it just struck me as it was so unusual. And the reaction from other people on the train came up to me at Charing Cross Forecourt and said, what was going on there? What was she doing?
I don't believe you.
Sorry, you?
I don't believe you. Who said that?
Honestly, they did, Catherine.
Who?
There were several couples. I must admit they were about the same age as me.
Old. Well, this is a generational thing. It's like in the jungle, Stanley Johnson was amazed that people were brushing their teeth in public, right?
Yeah.
And it's a generational thing.
But he farted his way around the jungle.
Well, he didn't know. He's loose arse.
Anyway, that was the only reason I rang in tonight.
Okay, thanks. You wanted to talk, but you didn't want to listen. That's fair enough. But it's a generational thing, I think. I've seen people doing their makeup whilst driving. I've seen people men shaving whilst driving, but with electric razors, guys, not wet shave.
I think people are so hard pressed for time that they run out and they continue, like eating. My grandma would be horrified by people eating in public.
Yeah.
People grab and go now, don't they, all the time? So
I'm doing really well at losing. For the last 2 weeks, I've got this staunch thing in my head, right, where, because I want to lose some weight. I've done it. I was losing weight. And I would only eat. Every time I went to get something to eat, I would say to myself, are you hungry? And if I was hungry, I would eat. And if I wasn't hungry, I'd go, well, I'll eat when I'm hungry. And it's brilliant. And it's worked. The last 2 weeks, it's worked brilliantly. And then last night I caved. Last night I caved in. And on the way home, I bought ice cream and a cream egg. And then today, when I was doing this thing with Swash, and just there's like a table full of sweets. And I'm just sat there going, I don't want to eat these. And I'm eating them. Just put them in my mouth, going, I don't want to eat these sweets. I don't want to eat these. And I ate tons. It's because I was nervous, because I was in a room full of people. I met Frankie from the Saturdays. Met Lisa Snowdon. Met some wonderful people. Met a fella from So Solid Crew.
Yes.
Who'd been on Love Island.
Okay.
And his partner. I met some lovely people. But because I was nervous, I was eating sweeties. I really wish I hadn't. 0344 499 1000. It's going to be a bumper show. If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, youtube.com/rabbit hole, the picture quality is almost double what it was before. Because I only found out last night, I've been streaming it with the camera, my phone facing forward, that the camera on the front isn't as good as the camera on the back. No one told me. So for 2 years, I've been doing Periscope and YouTube wrong. So
no more.
So HD tonight, guys. 1080p HD. 30 frames per second, guys. 30 frames per second. 30. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative with Catherine Boyle and Iain Lee. Only here on Talk Radio, guys.
Jerry! You've watched the cult TV show, you've seen the controversial offer, you've read the best-selling book, and you've drunk the intoxicating aftershave. Now, check out the Jerry Springer Radio Show, right here only on Talk Radio. Join me, Jerry Springer, live on tape from a coffee shop in Kentucky, and enjoy the very best conversation, recreation, and just a little caffeination. It's Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery on the Jerry Springer Radio Show.
This Sunday morning from 6.
Only on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
After-hours amusement for anarchists, air hostesses, and jet-lagged Antipodeans.
Can I covers? Can I crash on your floor? The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Do you remember in the early days of... you won't remember this, Catherine. This is for the guys. In the early days of burning DVDs, there were like 4 different DVD formats.
I do remember.
DVD plus R, DVD minus R, DVD RW, DVD... And some computers could burn on some certain DVDs, but then those DVDs could only play on certain DVD... Have we done that now? Are we gone part and you had to buy the right blank DVD? If you bought the wrong blank DVD, it wouldn't burn. Are we beyond DVD plus and minuses and R's and RWs? Is it just DVD is just a DVD now, isn't it? You just
I
buy.
think you can still buy both.
Okay. Let's go to Morgan. Good evening, Morgan.
Sorry, how you doing?
You're a young man. You won't know the frustration of trying to find the right burnable DVD format that would not only burn on your computer, but would then play on your actual real DVD player under the television. You'll never have to go through that indignity. And a lot of money was spent and a lot of hours were absolutely wasted by trying to burn, like, hooky movies, I'm going to say it, hooky movies, home movies. And you finally get one that would work for you, but then you'd send it off to like your mum or something, and it wouldn't play for hers because hers doesn't do DVD plus R. Hers only plays DVD minus R.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh God, I've got to get converted. So you just don't even know you're born, Morgan. You've got YouTube.
That's true, but then again, I am 16.
Yeah, I know. So you're a boy.
But it's weird because we have VCR tapes of when we used to go on holiday with my family.
Yeah.
And like looking back at them, don't get me wrong, the quality's poor, but I still know how to work it.
There's some great films. I saw Short Circuit on VHS. I saw some great quality films.
I remember my nan used to videotape God bless her soul, and like it was like all the old EastEnders and stuff, and she would throw them in her loft. And one day we just went through them all. I'm telling you, it was quality.
Did you watch them?
Yeah.
Okay, and they were definitely EastEnders. It wasn't like Nan and Granddad's home movies. You know what I mean? No. Okay.
It was Ian Beale and that.
Ian Beale and your nana. Adam Woodyat. Hey, you see, there's a fella. There's a fella who's been. It's a really serious case. Who's been attacked. He's in his 40s, and he's been attacked by his girlfriend, who's in her 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, it might be a court case. I don't know, because she found nudie pictures of someone he'd supposedly been having an affair with in their 70s.
Yes, I saw that.
What?
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's in this country, so that's why but
that would make sense.
That he's got like the whole age rainbow covered there, hasn't he? Hasn't he?
You know what they say? You hit a good line in the 40s. What's the saying about when you hit 40?
What did you think it was? They give you a good line at the, what? What did you say?
You hit a good line in your 40s. It's not that, is it?
No, life begins at 40. Not you hit a good line in your 40s. Well, I'm going to write that down, though. You hit a good line. Yeah, I like that. Go on, Kath.
Okay, so this is about Charlotte Laudat,
yeah,
who's 31, attacked her husband, Simon, 40. She's going to be sentenced, so she's been found guilty.
All right, is it in this country?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
She's going to be sentenced at Blackfriars Crown Court.
I mean, attacked him really viciously.
Yes.
Pair of scissors to the legs, I think.
Yeah.
What?
She's facing jail. She found naked photos of an older woman in his 70s on his phone.
Hey, that is...
Wowza.
That is quality.
Gosh. Okay.
I'm scared of that.
Yeah, well.
She said she initially believed it was a joke, but her husband admitted to an affair. Jeez.
These things,
I mean, unless it's Sophia Loren, it's going to be hard to take that, isn't it?
Just bear in mind the age of the young caller that we have on the line,
okay.
Catherine, so tread carefully.
Well, you've already said it.
My age doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, in legal terms, it does for us discussing anything too raunchy. But as you said, you hit a good line in your 40s. So, anyway, Morgan, what you got for us?
I was just finding out because I was just listening, and I remember a conversation we had yesterday.
Did we speak yesterday? I don't remember. What did we talk about?
Did.
Oh, I don't remember.
It was about UFOs.
Oh, yeah.
And I stated about aeroplanes.
Oh, yeah, you thought aeroplanes were UFOs. And then we had an argument, because if you said if you saw a flying saucer, then it wouldn't be a UFO, because you'd know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would still be a UFO. It would still be a UFO. It would still be unidentified. Like, you can look at an aeroplane and go, oh, look, that's an aeroplane, right?
Yes, that's identified.
But you can't look at a UFO and go, a flying saucer and go, oh, look, that's a flying saucer, because that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but you're not going to look at an aeroplane and go, that's a Boeing 437.
Some people would.
Oh, maybe that's true.
Yeah, some people would.
But then, so then I was just listening, and then you was just telling Kath about some person that called in yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, no, that wasn't you. Oh, no. There was another guy who was refusing to tell me the name of the top secret UFO organisation that he had an allegiance with in the past. I think it was the exact phrase he used, allegiance. It was a strange word he used. And no, it wasn't. No, Morgan, it wasn't a dig at you. Trust me. It was this fella, and he was. He first of all he refused to tell me the name, and then he said they won't have any presence on the web, and then he said, "Oh, actually, I'm not sure if I can remember the name."
Yeah, Men in Black.
Yeah. Oh, Men in Black. There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. Tony, was that you?
Yes, it was me.
Thank you, Sam, for pointing that out. Here we go, Morgan. This is the fella I was talking about.
Oh, Tony, I thought I was in trouble.
No, it's me.
Oh, it's right then, it's right.
So, Tony, do you, first of all, do you remember any of the conversation from yesterday?
Right, well, obviously, Ian, I'd been to the pub, and it probably wasn't the best idea to have rang you after
I
that.
must admit, you do sound a lot more with it today than you did 24 hours ago, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you remember the name of this top secret UFO organisation you had an allegiance with?
Yes, I do. I actually tweeted at you, Ian, as well.
All right, well, all right, go on.
Global UFO Investigation Systems.
Global UFO
Investigation.
All I've typed in is... you said they'd have no web presence. I've typed in Global UFO in, and it's come up.
Yes, I know it comes up as a search, but it's not actually a website.
Hang on a minute. He's right. Global UFO Investigation Systems. Is it limited?
No, I'll tell you what it was.
Yeah.
I used to live near Littlehampton, a little village called Wick, round the corner.
Yep.
And they were in an industrial estate just off the A27.
All right, yeah.
Of all places. And like I was trying to point out yesterday, but not very well probably.
Yeah.
They were very, very paranoid. I've been trying to find it, but I did have one of their newsletters. And
mate, have you got? I'd love to see that.
I've been trying to find it here, but I can't find it at the moment.
Oh, buddy, man, if you can find that, I would love to see a copy of that. I bet that is absolute gold.
It's got one of my reports in it. And it's also got a warning to all of the members to watch out for black Land Rovers following them around.
Oh, really? Was there a spate of kidnappings from black Land Rovers? No, that was a genuine question.
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, they said that there was a black Land Rover that had been hanging around the industrial estate, watching them.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to say, that, you know, they were really, really paranoid.
Mate, listen, if you find that newsletter, if anybody has any newsletters from Global UFO Investigation Systems. Good evening, madam. Sorry to disturb you. We're from Global UFO Investigation Systems. We wondered if you'd like to buy a black Land Rover offer. You can imagine that's a good company name. If anyone's got any reports from those guys or any information, seriously, I'd love to hear about that. That sounds brilliant. Was it government?
No. I mean,
just an up job.
The whole thing, I think, kind of imploded not long after, because I did like 2 reports for them.
Yeah.
I went to visit 2 local people because I used to live. Do you know where Clapham Woods is?
Is it in Clapham? Yeah.
No, it's not London. It's down on the Sussex Downs.
Okay.
And it's. I mean, if you look it up. You can look that up. It's had a long history of very strange things happening around there.
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad you have called up and you have given us that information. If you find that magazine, Tony, I'd love to have a look at it. Either scan it or send it, and I'll send it back. I'd love to have a look at that, mate.
I will see if I can find it.
Nice one, fella. Thank you very much. And there you go, Morgan. That mystery is solved. Yay. Thank you very much, guys. 03444991000. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Across
Proper
the
late
UK,
night
online
nonsense.
and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio.
Talking about sex with
Up here on their Nevis, it's millions of years since the volcano was active. But Sky Vegas bonus time, let firecrackers active right now.
Between 9 and 11 every night, our unmissable bonus game is guaranteed to trigger in Sky Vegas bonus time. Only at Sky Vegas. Unexpected.
Yep, no, I was just on the right side. Just on the right side.
Customers must be playing when bonus games randomly triggered. Minimum 20p stake. 3 spins must be claimed and used by midnight. Eligibility restrictions and further T's and C's apply. BeGambleAware.org. When the fun stops, stop.
It's time. Time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. With stunning HD video, crisp audio, and instant wireless sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
At Morrison's, treat Mum to Maschio Prosecco or Villa Maria Sauvignon Blanc for £6 each, and a box of Ferrero Rocher for £5. Mother's Day, Morrison's makes it.
Majority of stores while stocks last. Prosecco Max 6, Wine Max 24, 75 centilitres, Ferrero Rocher 300 grams, ends 11th of March. Please drink responsibly.
I've been thinking about car finance. You find a car, you get well excited. Then they give you the finance options. All 2 of them. That's not an option. That's rubbish. It's time someone thought of a better way.
They have. Car Finance 24/7. They're independent, so they can search lots of lenders to try and find you the best deal.
Right. Well, that's better.
That's carfinance247.co.uk. Car Finance 24/7 is a broker, not a lender. Representative 27.4% APR.
Days and weeks can fly by, but if you're worried it's cancer, time can slow down and almost stop. That's why, with Bupa Health Insurance, you can call us about any symptom of cancer without seeing your GP first. Depending on your cover and your symptoms, we could even refer you to a consultant there and then. Bupa Health Insurance. For living. To find out more, search Bupa. Direct access services may not be available for some underwriting methods, and you may need to provide evidence the conditions are not pre-existing.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The incredible new sound of Talk Radio.
The No Nonsense Breakfast with Julia Hartley-Brewer.
The biggest breaking news stories, headline-grabbing guests, and razor-sharp opinions.
Join me, Julia Hartley-Brewer, and I'll be turning up the heat every morning from 6:30 with an essential mix of straight-talking debate, heavyweight political guests, and fearless comment. Waking up the nation with a brand new breakfast conversation.
The No Nonsense Breakfast with Julia Hartley-Brewer.
Tomorrow morning from 6:30
on Talk Radio.
The late night alternative with that man, Iain Lee. There's no strangers here, just friends you haven't stalked on Facebook yet.
Have never sent my picture to anyone who didn't request it.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Yes.
0344 499 1000. Listen to Talk Radio on DAB. Download the app from the app thing. Or go to talkradio.co.uk. Catherine Boyle's here.
Yay!
All right, let's go to Jamie. Good evening, Jamie.
Hi, mate.
Hello, Jamie.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I've had a good day today, actually. It's all right.
I have to say, this show's hilarious. First-time listener, first-time caller.
Hang on.
You got me with the... Go on.
Tonight is the first time you've ever listened?
Yes.
Flipping heck, look at this. He's called in 45 minutes in. This is incredible. Incredible stats.
I've been driving up from Exeter to Heathrow.
Yeah.
Almost there. Got a very confused girlfriend who's just waking up from a sleep.
Wait a minute, what's going on? It sounds a bit suspicious. Should we be calling the authorities? Why are you going to Heathrow? Are you flying somewhere?
Yeah, we're going to New York.
Oh yes,
mate. Have you been before?
Yeah, I have, but the girlfriend hasn't.
What's the name of that diner they should go to?
Oh, the Stardust Diner. Let me just check.
Right, there's we went there. We did some shows from there last summer, and we found this amazing kind of annoying place called the Stardust Diner.
It's called Ellen's Stardust Diner.
Ellen's Stardust Diner. It's just off Broadway, and everyone that works there is an out-of-work Broadway, musical, theatrical performer, and they just get up on the tables and they're just singing all the way through it, and they'll do a couple of songs from the musicals, then they'll go, right, well, I'm going to finish now, and now it's handing over to my good friend Ellen, and then this and the singing. You can see why they're out of work. They're all very passionate.
They are, they sell it.
Very enthusiastic, but you can see why they're not on Broadway.
Yeah, that'll fit in nicely with the drag brunch.
Oh, hang on. Where's the drag brunch?
Lips.
Oh, right, next time we go. I've not been to it. We missed that one. How long you going for, man?
5 nights. Doing all the crazy stuff, but I think that'll fit nicely. I think we'll definitely.
Oh yeah, go on, go. The food's pretty good. It's not that expensive, and we just found it, mortifyingly embarrassing, of course, because we're British.
But hilarious.
Hilarious and over the top. You probably have to queue for a little bit, but we got in straight away actually. But there was a bit of a queue. Oh man, you're gonna have a great time. You two are gonna have a great time.
We're just in beautiful Slough.
Oh, mate, I live there. Tell me about it.
I was flicking through the dab on the drive up, and I got caught by the Joe Swash urine.
All right,
Joe Squash.
Here we go, Joe Squash. Yes, so someone says it. How much? All right, is your girlfriend just woken up?
Right, Joe, you awake? Yeah.
Joe, right, I'm going to ask her straight out. Joe, how much would we have to pay you to drink Joe Swash's urine?
How much? Like, how much urine?
Well, a pissful. I don't know.
A pint?
No, not a pint, but just like a normal afternoon urine into a glass. You're not going from the source. It'll be in a glass. You can't mix it with anything. What's the minimum amount of money you'd have to get paid to drink it?
At least £1,000.
Oh, it's not bad. It's doable. If we started a GoFundMe now, we get £1,000 by midnight. I know it.
I was calling because I wanted to know what the rules were. Are we talking a cupful or are we talking a full 2-litre Lucozade bottle?
No, it's
a bladderful.
It's a bladderful. She's right. It's just one go. To make it fair, it won't be the first one in the morning because that's all a bit stinky. You can't mix it with anything, but you could put it in the fridge. You could heat it up. You could do what you want. You could in preparation.
Cold.
Yeah. So you put it in the fridge and chill it, would you?
Yeah. It would be almost like apple juice.
Well, Kate, you've said that. Your answer's locked in now. I should tell you, if you leave it in the fridge too long, it separates.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
How do you know that?
Oh, God, I'm an expert on pea drinking. I've seen some documentaries. It separates, and like sediment goes to the bottom, and you'd have to finish that glass. So, Jamie, Joe's going to do it for £1,000. How much would you have to be paid?
I'm definitely more than that. I don't know where she's got that idea from.
I'm pretty sure that this is one of the first conversations we had when we started dating.
What about Joe Squash?
No, it wasn't. No, what we spoke about when we first started dating was how much you would have to be paid to wee yourself in the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And you said... How much?
At least £1,000.
£1,000. It's always £1,000.
It's always £1,000.
Just got a price and just into it.
With £1,000.
Right, hang on a second. This was one of the first conversations you ever had. Was this on your first date?
Yeah, I think so.
And this is going to be the decider. Which one of you brought that topic up? It was Joe! Oh, God, I love her!
Oh, and as she was saying it, he looked into her eyes and he went, yeah, this is the one.
Jamie is the luckiest man on International Women's Day.
No, she's hilarious, and that's why I'm with her.
Oh, man. How long you been together?
2 years.
Oh, mate. Well, listen, I'm so glad you found us. We're on Monday to Friday, 10 o'clock at night till 1 o'clock. Give us a call when you get back from New York and let us know how you get on.
Definitely.
Take care, Joe. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, what a couple. What a couple!
I kind of love them.
Well, she said, I'm pretty sure this is the conversation we had on our first date. No, that was about how much would you have to be paid to wee yourself in the pub.
Second date was Joe Swash's wee wee.
Poor woman's just woken up. Who's this on the phone? Oh, the bloke, the strawberry bloke. Oh, God, really?
But I love the way she just jumped straight in.
Yeah, $1,000. There's something she really wants that costs £1,000, and she's prepared to do anything to get it. Thank you for that, and well done. Can I just make a point to a lot of the slacker listeners and callers that we have on board? That guy had only been listening for 45 minutes, right? He'd been on the switchboard for about 15 minutes, so he phoned up after half an hour of listening to... There are people that have listened to my shows for years and have never bothered to pick up the phone. Shame on them. Shame on them. And then there are some people that have been listening for years and pick up the phone way too often. I call them Gatfords.
Yeah, I heard that was coming, yeah.
Yeah, you heard that was coming, did you?
Yeah.
You heard that was coming?
I heard that was coming.
Yeah, where did you hear that was coming from?
In my ears.
Oh!
Yeah.
How much would you have to be paid to drink Joe Swash's urine?
£3,400 and 96 pence.
Wowzers. I don't get it. 500 quid I'd do it. Do you know what? If it was...
Would that cover the medical bills?
No, but urine's good for you.
Not his urine, though.
What are you saying about his? You'd be very careful. He's got an excellent legal team. Do you know what? If it was a late night and we were playing games and stuff, video games and stuff, and we were bonding, I'd probably do it for 60 quid.
Wouldn't it be easier to go to the fridge and get a beer or a drink or something?
Well, no. It would be easier to offer him my empty Coke can, for him to pee in it and me to swig it.
You're disgusting.
Yeah.
I didn't ring up for that.
Paul has tweeted, Joe's piss, £500 and would down it in one, chilled. Thank you, Paul.
I thought about it.
Something I've given some thought to, Ian, is this question that you've raised about which animal you would sacrifice.
Oh, yes. It's not, sacrifice, which animals are superfluous?
So I've given this some thought, because, as you said, the rationale is that we're running out of food and we need space.
Yes, sir.
So, I originally was thinking, the larger animals, like your elephant.
Yeah.
Of course, there's not that many of them.
No.
And they're in places that are, not particularly habitable, the jungle, as you know. And I was thinking, more like dogs, but then, that's a lot of work. Yeah. And they don't take up a lot of space. So I've come up with the rationale, horses.
Go on, talk to me about horses, because I could possibly go either way on this. Go on.
Okay, well, firstly, there's the actual animal themselves, the room that they take up. Then, of course, there is the popular sport of racehorsing. Now, think of all the room you would gain by not having horses anymore.
It's true, those race courses, have you seen that, Scott?
Huge.
Can I raise a moral point?
Yes, of course.
What about all the horses that died in our service during the wars? I mean...
Well, that was a good 70 years ago now.
What is that? Right, on Park Lane in London, opposite Hyde Park, and I drove past it the other day, it always makes me laugh. There's the memorial for the war-dead animals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it says something like, they had no choice but to serve. And it's a memorial for, the dogs and the horses.
Neither did the teenage boys
and
we
the
sent.
Bees and all the things that the animals that got used.
The bees? What, war bees?
Yeah, bees have... Kath, bees are... They may not have been used in the Second World War, but bees have been used... This is true. Bees have been used as explosives. This is true. You've heard about this, haven't you, Gatford? I'm not making this up, am I?
I do vaguely remember something about this.
They certainly trialled it, tying explosives to bees and sending them in to the thing. I'm sure they did. 034... I may have dreamt this, actually. 0344 499 1000.
Tiny torpedoes.
Yeah. Have they used bees as weapons?
Of pigeons?
No, I'm sure I'm thinking of bees.
Oh, fair enough.
Anyway.
They did dolphins, didn't they?
They did, they broke a pelvis. But, a memorial for the animals that died in war? Come on, mate. Where's the memorial for the animals that died for my burger? They had no choice but to be served in McDonald's. Come on. Come on! If you got a pet that dies, yeah, of course, put a little stone up, put a little cross made out of lollipop sticks, whatever. But a memorial on Park Lane, that is primo real estate.
Get rid of animals, we should get rid of memorials.
I'm on for that. Do you know what? I like your spunk. Back to Joe Swash. I'm gonna put horses on. I'm also gonna put donkeys.
Okay, fair enough.
What about asses?
I've just written that. What is an ass? What is an ass? If you saw an ass, right? If you saw an ass in the street, would you know it was an ass?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't know the difference between an ass.
Isn't an ass the same as a mule?
Okay, well, what is that?
It's half horse, half donkey.
No, that's a honky.
No, it's not!
Or a dorse.
Don't be ridiculous, Gafford.
That's a stupid suggestion you made, Gafford. You've embarrassed yourself and you've embarrassed Talk Radio, the home of the full set breakfast with Paul Ross. No, hang on, we don't do a breakfast show. This is what makes this station unique, is we do not do a breakfast show. Paul Ross is on at 1 o'clock in the morning after this. At 5 o'clock it's James Max, and then at between 6:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. the station closes down as a mark of respect to Nick Ferrari, who passed away earlier on today. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Kadir, Howard, Niall, stay there. It's a busy old show. Animals that are superfluous. Have you ever spent the night in the cell? Your UFO stories and the last thing you taped or watched on video cassette. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative on Talk Radio. What an hour!
The 21st
What an hour!
Dream team of dialogue, debate and discourse.
Talk Radio. Give it some lift.
What are you up to? Listening to the
I
radio?
didn't know that. Well, then what's the point of it?
But are you going to bingo? Wait for a bus? But are you going to bingo? Go Blackpool? But are you going to bingo? Stars in the field? But are you going to bingo? All I want to know is, are you going to bingo? Little Ducks? Are you going to bingo? Legs 11? Are you going to bingo? Two fat ladies? Are you going to bingo? All I want to know is, are you going to bingo? Everyone's a
These
winner with
have been
some
used to
bingo.
find
Spend
explosives.
£10 and get a guaranteed prize every day. 18 plus. T's and C's apply. Bonus prizes are non-withdrawable. Please gamble responsibly.
Listen up, Winston Wolfe here. I'd like you to imagine this. You arrive home early. Everything is peachy.
Right.
And as you look
Darius
down
and
at your
Dartford is
firstborn
getting
smiling face, you know this
Yeah, it's
moment
blocked.
was worth the wait. Then you look up and see you've had a severe leak in a hole the size of Hawaii.
Too much.
Good news
That's
is
too much.
you're with Direct Line. They'll get to work within 24 hours before you can say Incy Wincy
Drinking piss. Are you going to bingo? Thank you, Poker Bene, for that. Thank you for that. Good
Extreme
game.
weather conditions make their response time £350
I'm really
more
annoyed by
expensive
that
than
picture
supplies.
quality being so good.
1, 2. Music's always
But
best
that means
when
we
it's
can use my
live.
phone as the third
Same as
camera.
Sky
So-
Vegas
It's all
bonus
sorted.
time. That baby's
It's
live
done.
right
It's happening now.
Message yesterday.
Between 9 and 11 every night, our
I was
unmissable
getting
bonus
ready to
game is
cancel it. I
guaranteed
cancelled
to
it in my
trigger
head.
in Sky Vegas
But we've got to do it
bonus
now.
time. Only at Sky Vegas. Unexpect more. 18 plus ends 3rd of July. Customers must be playing when bonus games run.
I'll have a decaf
Minimum
cough.
20p stake.
I'll have a
3 spins
decaf
must be
cough.
claimed and used by midnight. Eligibility restrictions and further T's and C's apply. Be gamble aware.
Yeah, you're
When
going
the fun
to
stops,
broadcast
stop.
the nation.
Did you know this weekend is Vauxhall's £500 free fuel event?
Really?
I think so, Kathy.
Yes, there's £500 free fuel when you drive away a new Vauxhall between the 9th and 12th of March, on top of our Help to Buy offers.
Really? Search Vauxhall.
Decaf, cough, calf.
Vauxhall, British brand since 1903. On selected models across the range registered by 31st of March 2018. At participating retailers from 9th to the 12th of March. £500 on a prepaid debit card. See vauxhall.co.uk/help to buy.
Hello, what a lovely surprise.
I cannot get over
I'll
the
pop the cake
quality
down.
of that bloody
Get the
picture.
glasses out, Mum.
Make your Mother's Day.
Why
with
didn't
Co-op
anyone
Prosecco
tell
Box
me?
Thorntons
It means I
chocolates for
can't
just
see your
£10. Another
messages,
great deal from the
Periscopers.
Co-op. Thorntons with Love Box, 247 grams, 75 centilitre bottle. Participating stores only, subject to availability. Offer ends
Are you gonna
March
bingo?
2018. Please drink responsibly.
Across the
It's happening June the 3rd.
online and
It's happening.
on DAB.
Talk Radio on the hour news headlines.
Good evening, I'm Carl Hartley. A police officer who was among the first to help a former Russian
The first
spy and his
to help
daughter
her.
who'd been poisoned by a nerve agent is now conscious.
Hey,
He's
good,
been named
good.
as Detective Sergeant Nick Bailey. Acting Chief Constable of Wiltshire Police Keir Pritchard has been to visit him.
Well, that's all right.
He's well, he's sat up. He's not the Nick that I know, but of course he's receiving a high level of treatment. He's in the safe hands of the medical professionals working in Salisbury District. So I'm
See,
very confident
old
he's getting the best
arse
professional
chops is
support that he
out
can.
begging for
Sergei
cash.
Julius Skripal
And
is
he
still
dared
both
have a go at me.
in hospital.
What a bellend. I mean, the
Detectives
guy's just got
investigate why
no
they were
shame.
targeted.
No shame.
Now, Donald Trump is promising to introduce new metal tariffs within 15 days, saying he's acting to defend US national security. It would put up the cost of steel imports entering the country by 25% and aluminium by 10%. Sky's US correspondent Mark Austin says this gives them time for other countries to get let off.
America is prepared.
Been totally overwhelmed by the comments. Been totally overwhelmed by the comments about my return. Thank you. Also, so many of you have donated. It's taken my breath away. Whether it is £10 or £500, as someone has donated.
At whom this is largely aimed, have said they will take reprisals.
No, they haven't.
A jury's been shown CCTV footage of the moment a huge fireball engulfed a packed tube train last year. Panicked commuters from the bright flames before rushing out of the train at Parsons Green Station. Now, the government's used International Women's Day for the timely launch of a new domestic violence strategy. The plans include tagging abusers, banning them from drinking and making economic abuse a specific crime. And the supermarket regulator has started an investigation into the Co-op and how it treats its suppliers. The groceries court adjudicator says it has a reasonable suspicion that the chain broke court rules. Now, after a dry night for most, tomorrow will see bright spells for many in northern areas, whereas southern England and Wales will be wet. Highs of 9 degrees.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you Yesterday was kind of like the
So I'm doing this Imani Coppola compilation CD, right? And so I've got the best job in the world, right? So I'm going to release it as a CD on my record label, and we'll press 500 copies, and yeah. So I basically had to make a 73-minute compilation of the best of Imani stuff. There's one album we can't touch because it's owned by Sony and it cost a fortune to get any tracks from it. Okay, that's fine. The first Little Jackie album. I'm trying to license a couple of other tracks from somewhere else and a couple of tracks from there. But apart from that, it's just she owns it all. So we just go, can I have this one, this one, this one, and this one? I'm just making the best mixtape, and she's helping out. Oh, it's brilliant. Be out in the summer, I think, at some point, and it's a thrill. What a thrill to be able to say to one of your favourite, and she's easily in my top 5, probably top 3, it kind of varies, top 5, definitely top 5 musical artists of all time, to say, can I release a CD of the songs that I think are your most poppy? Yeah, sure, go on then, fine.
What I like about your record label is it's allowing you to make the records you want to buy.
Oh, exactly, we only, here's the thing, and I won't tell you which one because it will be unfair, we only release one record, the one record that me and Glenn, who I do it with, the CD, the one that didn't sell and was, left us with a bit of egg on our face was the one that neither of us were that excited by, and we were just flattered that someone had asked us to do it, and we got caught worked up in that. But all of them, we've got 2 Michael Nesmith records live now and live from 1972 coming. Whoa, loads of stuff, loads of great vegetation here.
Oh.
Loads of.
Don't, because that's the bat signal for you.
Oh, no, he's already phoned in once now. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio with me, Iain Lee. Catherine Boyle is here as well. You can watch the show tonight in HD. In HD, for crying out loud, on youtube.com/rabbit hole. You can also go to the Periscope, but we stream Matthew streams the Periscope on the YouTube, and it's in HD because no one told me that the front camera of an iPhone isn't as good as the back camera of an iPhone. No one's told me that, so I'm dumb. So no, you can go and watch it, if you go to the YouTube channel.com/rabbit hole. And subscribe. There's loads of stuff up there. There's all the old shows up there if you want to watch the radio show. I know some of you don't particularly enjoy watching the radio show. I don't particularly enjoy watching radio shows. I like listening to them. But there's all the 11 o'clock shows up there. There's Rabbit Hole videos up there. There's going to be, on June the 3rd, a live Rabbit Hole television show in front of an audience, because I've worked out how to do it. So if you want to come and see that, you can buy tickets. Should we see how many tickets we've got left for that? It's June the 3rd. Hang on a minute. Ticketsaurus.co.uk. Hey, flipping it! We've sold half the tickets. half the tickets have gone. It's not until June the 3rd, and it's for a punt. So if you want to come, at ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee, IAIN-LEE. And we're going to try and do a live TV show. And I should say as well, okay, because I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, and loads of you have sent in videos. Don't send me any more videos. I've not been through them yet because I've been trying to work out the technical stuff. But we're definitely going to show a couple of short films by you people. We're going to get a guest. I did ask Adam Buxton, but he's busy. But we'll get a name, someone like that, to come in. But also, if you have got like a story to tell. Right, that's something that's happened to you, and you can do it in, I'm going to say no more than 4 minutes, right? And 4 minutes is a long time. But if you've got a story that you can tell, and it can be something huge, it can be something small, as long as it's, like, interesting, right? And you think you might want to come and tell it, and you can either, it would be nice if you could tell it as a story yourself. You wouldn't need us to interview you. You could just come on and go, right, we've got Steve who's going to tell us about the, whatever. Send me an email, ian@iainlee.com, and you might get a chance to come and do that. Let us go. So many calls. Let's go to Howard first of all. Good evening, Howard.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Howard.
Hi. I think you're mistaking yourself with bees for bats.
Oh. Bees are the little yellow and black things that buzz, yes?
Yes, indeed. But you were talking about using bees as weapons.
Yes.
And the Americans used bats as weapons during World War II.
Okay.
Except they didn't. They burnt their own factory down with the bombs when they were trying to test them.
Hang on a minute. So what were they tying? Were they tying little bombs to bats?
Yes, they tied small incendiary bombs to the backs of bats, and the idea was to drop them over Japan, because they live in wooden houses. They would roost in the roofs, the incendiaries would go off, kill the bats, burn houses down.
Gosh, isn't that wicked?
But, well...
the Americans got they got their comeuppance, because when they tested them, they roosted in the roof of the factory they were making them in, and they burnt the whole factory down.
Yes.
And they stopped the project, because the whole thing went up in smoke.
Well, don't say the Americans got their comeuppance. They were at war with the Japanese.
Yeah, but that's indiscriminate.
It
is sending bats in there,
mate. I don't know if you know exactly how the war in Japan ended.
Well, I know
those two A bombs were they H bombs? I can't remember, but they were pretty indiscriminate.
I know, but
they were. Yes, they caused a bit of a mess.
Well, no, listen, that's very. Kath, could you find me a picture of a bat with a bomb attached to it, please?
Oh, sure, I can.
But thank you for that. But I was correct in bees to a certain extent in that bees have been trained to sniff out explosives. Apparently,
they have been. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes, but then again, they have been done that, and also pigeons were used to guide missiles as well.
How would a pigeon guide a missile?
The idea was you put it in the nose of the missile.
No.
And you get it to look at a picture of the target, and you train it to peck on a sensor so it moves left, right, up and down.
Well, that was obviously never going to work. Pigeons were actually steering missiles because they looked at a picture.
Yeah, they tested it and it worked.
No, right. Howard, you're a fruitcake. This is Howard Hughes.
I wish.
The pigeons did not steer missiles by looking at pictures and then tapping left and right on a bomb. They did not.
Yes, they did.
How do you...
Oh, they did. I've heard this on QI.
Don't start...
They did.
Oh, is this where you got it from, QI?
No, I just do military history as a hobby, that's all.
Oh, okay.
He just knows, that's all.
I just happen to know stuff.
Okay, fine. Do you know what? After last night's argumentative show, Howard, I'm going to doff my cap to your militaristic knowledge. And
no, that's fine. But I did learn something about the monkeys. I didn't realise that they didn't play all their own music to start with.
No, they didn't start with or to end with. They only really played one record. Anyway, there you go. Your information is a lot more useful and good.
There we are. I aim to please.
You're a good sport, Howard. Thanks for calling in, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye. You just showed me a picture of a bat with a bomb.
It's real.
No, that is not real.
It's real.
Well, the bomb is bigger. The bomb is bigger than the bat.
I know. What he told you it failed.
World War II was nuts, man. I mean, nuts. Let's go to Johnny. Good evening, Johnny.
How you doing, Ian? You alright?
I'm alright, Johnny. Thank you, mate. Yes.
Yeah, you're good. I was just ringing up in reference to what the subject matter was earlier, to do with Space Invaders and whatnot.
Yes.
I want to tell you a story, just to see if it freaks you out.
Yeah.
You know. So, I live local in Doncaster.
Yes.
I'm a handyman by trade.
Oh.
Where we are in the community, we're very tight-knit. We all sort of help each other out.
Do you know the James Taylor song, Handyman?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, guys, it's a good tune, that.
I know James Taylor.
Not the folk singer, not the James Taylor Funky Quartet.
Yeah, I know.
He did a song called Handyman.
Oh, did he?
Let me be your handyman. I'll come round.
Yeah, I'm sure he did it in a different way, though, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know. I can't really remember it, but it's about him hammering Carly Simon or something, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm a different type of handyman. I do. What he's discussing.
Okay. So go on then. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, as you know, in late December, it was very breezy. We had strong gales and such.
Very breezy.
And our local church, St Paul's, next to it there's these huge trees, and because of the winds, some of the tree branches have come off and gone straight through the church roof. So we had a word with Father Bernard, who's the local reverend, and he told us the council weren't willing to pay for the damages on the roof. And with it being a local handyman, I said, if you can sort out the funds, I'll come round and fix it.
Well, hang on a minute. Fixing a church roof, that's a bit more than just handymanning, isn't it? That's a full-on building job.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean by handyman, don't you? Like jack of all trades, sort of.
Well, yeah, exactly. But that seems like handyman. I thought it was like putting up shelves.
No. I mean like plumbing and roofing and whatnot. And
okay, all right. Yeah, you can do it. Yep.
So anyway, they have a bake sale and that fundraiser, jumbo tombola and all that. I didn't go. It's not really my sort of thing. But my missus went along with kid with some fairy cakes and such and that. They made the money.
Yeah.
So me and my guffer Billy, who helps me out on jobs and that, he comes round and I said, we'll get on with this roof. And then we went round on the Sunday. Father Bernard had the day off. So we're up there on roof, hammering away and that, or like getting all debris out of the way, putting plaster roofs and that. And then Sister Margaret's down bottom shouting up at us, saying, do you want a cup of tea? I said, go on, that's cracking, that, Margaret, that'd be perfect.
Yes.
So we just start hammering away and that. 2 minutes later, she comes back up, a cup of tea's and I said, Margaret, you want to be careful coming up there, you're going to hurt yourself. She said, here's your brew. I said, cheers. And she said, alright, I'll take a drink. I said, that's cracking, I could do with a bit of sugar, though.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the punchline, but go on. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the way he's telling it. It's good.
Yeah. It's a true story, honestly.
Okay.
So she comes back down, comes back up with sugar in a pot. She gives me sugar, I put it in tea. I said, that's cracking, that, Margaret. And then she said, do you want some biscuits for that? I said, yeah, that'd be perfect, that. Then just as she's about to go down, she slips and falls on the floor. And that's when I seen it. A non-identified flying object. You said, ring up if you've seen an unidentified flying object. Good joke. Yeah.
I didn't understand that. I didn't understand it.
Because she was a non-identified.
Oh, right. Okay. I wondered why he was saying unidentified instead of UFO. Okay. Aren't people strange? 0344 499 1000. We've got Niall, then we've got Bill, then we've got Kadir. 0344 499 1000. The late night alternative on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Bloody hell.
Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
With a credit limit of up to £1,500, wouldn't it be nice to find out if you could have an Ocean credit card before you apply? Hang on, you can at askocean.co.uk, and checking doesn't affect your credit rating. So what are you waiting for? Head to askocean.co.uk to see in seconds if you can have an Ocean credit card. 39.9% APR representative variable. Intelligent Lending Limited is a credit broker. Capital One is the exclusive lender.
askocean.co.uk. Don't be down. See, things are looking up. There's an upbeat upside to 2018 already. Just step up to the Renault
To
upgrade
the
event.
right.
Upgrade your old car.
Jump
and
up
get
and down,
additional
jump and up, and it's alright.
Sure, all new Koleos, all new Capture.
You seen that?
It's up to you. Just order your upgrade by the 31st of March 2018. Visit Renault.co.uk/upgrade to find out more.
If your
Vehicles
donations
must be registered by the 31st
between
of March 2018.
as small as
Subject to
£10,
T's apply 18+.
so we won't
Some
take the
customers
credit,
only,
or
participating
anything
dealers only.
as much as £500 which someone has just donated.
I'll pop the kettle on.
Off, mate.
Or get the glasses out, Mum.
Make your Mother's Day with Co-op Prosecco and a box of Thornton's chocolates for just £10. Another great deal from the Co-op. Thornton's with Love Box, 247 grams, 75 centilitre bottle. Participating stores only,
vaguely
subject to
floated something like that
availability.
around.
Offer ends 11th
The
March
guy's just,
2018.
I mean,
Please
I'm
drink
not getting
responsibly.
involved, but the guy's just insane.
You can say anything to a mate. Anything.
Oh, didn't we? When we we asked about
Wind 'em
maybe
up.
if anyone wanted
Bring
to
'em down a
sponsor
peg.
something. We
Tell
did
them
ask on
stuff you
Twitter
never
about
thought you'd
something.
tell anyone. Because they're proper mates.
I mean, the guy's
Like brothers.
insane.
Yeah. When it's a mate, you say what you feel like saying. Except, I love you, man, and I'm not gonna let you drink drive. Stupid, innit? Mates don't let mates drink drive. Think.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright,
yeah, bright sunshiny day, yeah.
List it, sell it. An easy way to make room for the new you this spring. Download the app and start selling now. eBay. Fill your car with colour.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 498 1000 is the telephone number. Good evening, Bill.
Hello.
Hello, Bill.
Hello, Ian. How you doing, sir?
I'm very, very well, Bill. How are you?
Oh, mate, I've actually got quite a good one for you tonight.
Oh, go on, mate. Go on. What you got?
So basically, I've gone on this date today. It's Catherine with you, because I need a woman's advice. Hello,
There we
darling.
go.
You alright, sweet?
I'm all right. Treacle.
Now, this, of course, was, is it Lindsay Hipgrove? Is that her name?
Hipgrave, yeah.
Hipgrave. On Talk Sport, she would be correctly telling you to get knotted.
No, but he called me Catherine first. This guy just didn't use her name at all.
Well, okay, so that's the key to a woman's heart. is
Also,
it?
it's Bill, and I know Bill.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's fine.
And I like him.
Just saying that Lindsay is more of a woman than you are.
Who's Lindsay?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think I've heard of her. Oh, she's on that. She's not with Mike Graham, is she?
No, that's Katie.
Okay. I've only listened to. I didn't realise he was on in the day, to be honest.
Yeah, Mike Graham, 10 o'clock in the mornings, 10 till 1. Yep,
I
exact
like him,
mirror of this show, both politically and clockily.
Huh?
He's a good man.
He's good. I like Mike Graham. I like him a lot. He's very nice to me.
I do. He's even better now. He's got rid of that numpty, the other Mike.
I kind of like them.
You know, there was like a whole comedy programme, not a whole one, but the last 10 minutes of a comedy programme on Radio 4 last week was about Mike Parry doing the Cinnamon Challenge. And we just caught like the last few minutes, and it was this...
Have you seen the video, Bill?
No, I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it.
Oh, you won't be sorry. It's just wonderful.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it.
Haven't you?
No, I've not seen
Oh, it's the definition of hubris.
Oh.
Do you know what? I like Mike Parry. I think it just got a little bit, them two together just got a little bit, you know, same old. And
harsh.
It kept waking me up in the middle of the night, them two bloody shouting at each other. So what the...
Well, this is the problem, right, with the Talk Radio app that other radio stations' apps have. Talk Radio doesn't have a timer. So you can listen to other radio stations and get it to turn off in 45 minutes,
Yeah.
so you can fall asleep, and Talk Radio hasn't got that. I would love to. I mean, it looks like it's been built by a work experience sixth former.
But there are new people coming in all the time,
Yeah.
and they're very into the social media,
Well.
and it's a matter of time until we've got a brand spanking working thing. I have all confidence.
Okay. When are we moving to the new studios again? Anyway, Billiam.
Oh, Ian. So basically, I've gone on this date tonight,
Yeah.
And to be fair, the girl was 23, so that's a bit below my comfort zone for dating.
How old are you, Bill?
I'm 33.
Oh.
Wow. 23, 10 years, no, he's right.
23 is a big difference.
26,
I like maybe no less than, 26, 27, 28.
How old would you go, Bill?
Sorry?
Would you go out with a 75-year-old?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no. No, I'm really weird like that. I wouldn't. I like to date maybe 2 years younger.
Okay.
Would you go 40, Bill?
40.
You'd have a great time.
To be honest, not off the top of my head, no. But I would never close the door on it because everyone's different. You know.
So what he means is, if he met a fit 40-year-old that looked 26, he'd be there. Right. Okay.
But no, basically, I've got no money. I'm good looking. That's about it. And you know what I mean? I ain't got much to offer, so they probably wouldn't want me anyway.
He's working with what he's got. That's fair
They
enough.
don't want to marry you, Bill. They just want to have a night of passion.
I want to settle down.
Oh, okay.
you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, honestly, no one takes me serious, but for real, it would sort my life out, you know.
Well,
Well, I don't know. I would suggest sorting your life out first.
those are the worst relationships. If you think that's what's going to
I
happen.
know what we do. We have a baby.
I'm just honest to God. Do you know why I'm useless on my own? Is because I don't really care about myself. When I'm with someone else, I care about them, and then in that regard,
Bill,
I have to step up and care.
How the hell you gonna love somebody else if you don't even love yourself?
I can't work that out, my friend.
Exactly.
It's been a tough couple of months. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, but tonight, back on it. Date, 23-year-old.
Do you know what? I can see the funny side of this, yes. Anyway, for someone who's 23, 10 years younger, we actually connected. And, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking it was veering one way, so I thought, don't go there.
What?
Go out a few times, blah, 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 treat her nice. Literally, everything was going well.
Yeah.
She's a bit local to me.
Oh. Sorry, by
Is
that
that
you
euphemism for related?
No. No, it's not that extreme. Don't worry, Catherine.
So what you mean? What if it went wrong? There's a chance you might bump into a.
No, to be fair, this is what I don't get women. Yeah, I'm always told I'm too honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got talking, blah blah blah, mutual friends. It turns out I dated her sister.
Oh, well.
Mate.
What's the problem?
You know,
There's no problem with that.
I went out with my husband's brother.
Cav.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah, and it was only for drinks.
Bloody hell, it wasn't a family Christmas do, was it?
What I'd say, where did your husband think you were?
Catherine, I'm surprised.
I'm shocked.
Don't be shocked.
But Catherine, you're a woman, yeah? I think it's where she was...
Well, we haven't got the test back from the laboratory yet. We're still waiting on those.
My daughters think so.
Yeah, we're still waiting on those.
Oh, dear.
Go on.
But, honestly, it weren't like I was being bragging about it. I just said, oh, yeah, that's your sister, blah, blah, blah. And she went off her nut, mate. Honest to God. She absolutely went off her nut. It was like a tantrum. And from that point, the attraction went. I thought, nah, you're a bloody...
Well.
She's a nightmare.
Oh, but do you know what it is? It's like, to be fair, my track record's been bad. I hit on my boss the other month, and...
What did he say?
Well, it's a she.
Okay.
She's a very, very nice lady, but...
You don't dip your nib in the office ink. That's a rule.
I thought she'd like me. And she does, because when I stop speaking to her, she keeps asking me, what is wrong? And I'm like, I'm cool. And then...
She Nigerian?
No, I don't want to say, because it's a bit bait on the radio, but...
You did the impression, though, so now we're wondering.
Well, it's that kind of
French.
accent.
She's French.
What is wrong?
For sure. Well, but honest to God, yeah, it's like, I'm just going to give up. Because it's just, I keep walking into disasters.
No, you're not. No, you're not going to give up. Right, here's the thing. She probably went a bit nuts, but then again, she was 23. And, so, you know...
Yeah, it's no loss, but it's just like I did quite like her up until that point. I thought, yeah, you're all right. I can change my boundaries. I can change the settings.
You were willing to go younger, is what you're saying. But
no, based on her personality, I thought, you know what, you're worth a couple of shots, you know, like, not like that, I mean, like, a couple of, go out, let's chill, let's, you know, do this and the other. Not that, but, like, you know. So I'm trying to be serious, Kath.
I know you are.
Could you try and sum up the feelings that you have around this woman in song?
I can sum up in general how I feel, not particularly about...
All right, fine. Beautiful. Let's have it.
Okay. So when I walk through the door, I walk into another door that's double locked, and it's got a bowl and a knobs on top. So I'm gonna keep on going through life blind, like a cross between Blunkett and Wonder you might find. And I peed off my neighbours 'cause I just done the hoovering at 11 o'clock. But I apologised, so God you love me, so please forgive me my sins. Oh, I just had my last innings. That's not too bad. I can't go on 'cause I forgot.
Bill, thanks very much for calling. Let's go to Niall. Good evening, Niall.
You're all right, Ian.
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting, mate. You've been on for ages. It's been a bit busy the last 45 minutes or so, but we got to you in the end. Thank you for waiting. What do you have for us, Niall?
I just want to talk about various addictions and stuff like that.
Go on, then.
Basically, I'm cocaine addict. I'm also addicted to, well, not addicted, but I also drink a lot every night.
Yeah.
I take a lot of blue pills, Valiums. Also smoke marijuana. What goes up must come down. I guess I'm trying to get to the point. But I'm just trying to like preach. Basically, I just I'm 27.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for quite a long time, and you know I don't want people to follow my path and end up in an early grave sort of thing. You know.
Right. Forget other people. What are you going to do about it?
Well, the cocaine wise, I've come off it twice and relapsed.
Yeah.
I don't know what's caused me to relapse. I couldn't really answer that. I don't have a clue, to be honest.
When was the last time you used cocaine?
Today.
How much did you have?
I used it every day. I used between half a gram and anywhere between half a gram and 3 grams daily.
Every day! It costs a fortune these days!
Yeah, I know, yeah. But
where are you getting the money from, man?
Luckily, I've got a very well-paid job, and I'm very lucky when it comes to investments as well.
Yeah, you're lucky now. You're lucky now. You ain't going to be lucky when either you get caught out or you lose that job, or you start using more and more, and your money don't cover it.
No, I'm not. No. That's why I'm trying to preach and trying to say...
Well, but here's the thing. Forget don't forget other people because no one's with respect. No one who's at home who is holding some drugs in their hand is going to go, "Hey, this guy sounds like he's having a terrible time. I'm going to flush these drugs down the toilet." So don't forget other people, and start focusing on yourself.
I'm not having a terrible time.
No, exactly. So what you're preaching is that you're having a great time on drugs.
Yeah, but I'm going to head to an early grave, you know.
But all people are going to hear are you're having a great time on drugs. And do you want to know something? I don't believe you are having a great time on drugs.
I guess I don't know. I guess I'd be on the fence about that one.
I think you're having some great times. I'm not saying it's all miserable. I'm sure there are moments, you know, that first line I'm sure is delicious, like a lovely rich cake. But I'm guessing, Niall, that if you were having such a great time all the time, why would you keep trying to stop?
Because you don't want to die.
That's the only reason.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's not a financial thing for me. You know, it's not a financial worry for me. I do well for myself, you know.
You can spend 150, 250 quid a day on it, and that's fine.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, I can, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You're not sending out an anti-drugs message. You're sending out quite a pro-drugs message.
I want to set out an anti-drugs message.
But you're not. You're phoning up and saying that you're earning a lot. You're using a lot of drugs. At the same time, you're holding down a well-paid job, and you're having a great time. How is that an anti-drugs message?
Because it's going to end up with an early grave, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but people don't hear that bit. People hear the well-paid job, holding it down, having a great time.
Well, also the downside is you don't maintain a lot of profit, and you stay. I'm staying like what's the word? I'm comfortable financially, but I'm not continually making profit. I'm not struggling in any way or manner financially, but I'm not making any profit. I'm losing all my money, and eventually I'll lose everything. So,
well, but you don't believe that.
I do believe that.
But if you believed it, you'd stop if you could.
I do try and stop. I don't.
But you're only trying to stop because you think one day. What age do you think you might die at then?
Mid-30s, I think.
Okay, so you got another 10. So as far as you're concerned, you got another 10 years of this, having a great time.
If I carry on the way I'm going, yeah, I think I'll die by the time I'm 35.
How much coke did you do today?
Today, around probably just under a gram.
And when was your last line?
About 2-3 hours ago.
I honestly, Niall, I honestly don't know what to say to you. If you think you're right. You're definitely not giving out an anti-drugs message, and I have to be really careful because I do not want in any way to promote drugs, okay? So I have to say, I've got to do the responsible thing because this is, I have to be slightly more responsible than if we were having this conversation in a Costa or a pub or something, right? So, don't do drugs, kids, right? Because it's bad for you, right?
Yeah, it's horrific.
Yeah, but no, okay, but why is it horrific? You're saying you're having a great time.
In the moment, yeah.
What about when you come down?
When I come down, I feel terrible for about half an hour, and then I use something to bring me back on a level, sort of thing.
So you're self-medicating to try and get yourself feeling normal. Now, I honestly don't know what to say. I suspect, and you're going to tell me I'm wrong, and maybe I am wrong, but I still suspect that somewhere in you want me to give you the key to stopping taking drugs.
No, not really, because I've come off it twice.
Right. Okay. In that case, I've got nothing to say to you, man. You're giving a really dangerous, misleading, pro-drugs message that I cannot endorse. I cannot condone your behaviour, and if we're lucky, we'll speak again in a year, and maybe it'll be a slightly different story. But I honestly have nothing. I don't know what I'm supposed to say because you're not giving out an anti-drugs message.
If I can just say one thing, if anybody's listening and they've got a bag of coke or anything like that,
send it your way. Is what you're thinking, because no one is going to. No, you don't understand. And this is one of the problems I have with people when I meet them when they're on cocaine, is the amount of bollocks that they spout, right? And you are spouting bollocks, right? Your lifestyle is unsustainable. Cocaine is one of the nastiest, meanest drugs out there, and that it makes people so self-centered, so self-obsessed, so horny, so dark in thought. It just is a very, very dark drug. You listen to albums that were made on cocaine. Rumours is the one that springs to mind. There's a real darkness that runs through it. You're not, by phoning in and saying what you're saying, Niall, you're not helping anyone, and I suspect that there is something underlying that you're not ready to share with us. But trust me, man, you're not helping people tonight.
How do you mean underlying that I'm not willing to share, sort of thing?
I think you know.
I honestly don't.
Okay, well then, your homework is to have a think about it over the weekend.
Okay. I'll give you a call back.
Well, maybe. If you feel that you come to an answer, give me a call back. Try and have a think about it when you're not high on drugs.
Okay.
I wish you the best of luck, brother. I really do. But you're certainly not giving an anti-drugs message, which is what I think you're doing. The fact that you're phoning up, on the one hand saying you're having such a great, productive, financially rewarding, fun time on cocaine, and that in the other breath you're telling people don't do drugs.
Yeah.
That is what makes me think. That is what makes me believe there is something underlying all of this that I can't get to tonight because you're too high.
I don't want people to start. I'm on about beginners, you know. I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, still struggling with it.
You're talking bollocks.
If you're thinking about taking coke...
No, you're talking rubbish. You're talking absolute guff. No one is listening. No one who has considered taking drugs, no one who's ever taken drugs is listening to this going, I'm not going to do it now. It don't work like that. You're too high.
It doesn't. No, unfortunately, it really doesn't work like that, does it?
No, it doesn't. And your efforts are noble, but they're misplaced. Instead of firing that out, turn it inward.
How do you mean? Towards myself?
Yeah.
So I deal with my own issues instead of trying to preach, sort of thing.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
All right, man. I wish you the best of luck, brother. Take care.
Thank you, mate. Cheers, mate.
Ta-ta. Dearie me, I honestly didn't know how to respond to that, Catherine. I didn't know what to. I was lost for words. And also, and I mentioned this yesterday, I'm being, because they're all listening to me. I'm just being a little bit careful, extra careful as to how much my personal life I share, because people are listening. That if I say something, it'll be in the Mirror online tonight, and it'll be on the Huffington Post tonight, and then it'll be in the Mail on Saturday.
And it'll be slightly wrong.
It'll be completely wrong. Everything that's been printed in the paper so far has been completely wrong and got me in a lot of bother. So I'm really trying to tread carefully about how much I share, and that's a shame. That's a shame. And it's funny. I was talking to someone today. Not Joe Swash, before we jump to conclusions, but I was talking to someone today who has had bits of their private life, private life exposed in the papers, and we didn't really talk about it.
But you didn't really need to.
We didn't need to, but we hadn't seen each other for a while, and they said to me, "How you doing?" And I said, this is happening. And he went, and I said, "How are you?" He went, this is happening. And we both went, it's all bollocks, isn't it? And he went, we both said, and so, but what it means for me, personally, is I need to get that balance of how much I share and how much I hold back, and that's fine. I think I can get the balance. I think I can get the balance right. But I wish that, gentleman, luck, man. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK.
Sound fucked up. Sound fuck up. That's your nickname from now on. Sound fuck up.
Radios.
Talk Radio.
Brighten up your mornings and take a brilliant break with Mike Graham on Talk Radio with the Sun Holiday Shop. Great value breaks all year round. Listen to Talk Radio every weekday morning from 10 for 3 hours packed full of fabulous features, great value guests, and quick-fire calls on all of the day's top talking points. Don't miss Mike Graham every weekday morning from 10 on Talk Radio with the Sun Holiday Shop. Great value breaks all year round. Go to thesun.co.uk/holiday shop.
Hello, sir. So you're interested in our Vivaro van with up to 4
years warranty?
Exactly. Plus up to 4
years servicing?
Right again. And 4 years 0% APR finance with Vauxhall Help to Buy.
Really?
Search Vauxhall Vivaro. Vauxhall. British brand since 1903. Conditional sale. 4 years 0% APR minimum 20% deposit plus VAT at 20% on total price. Financed by Vauxhall Finance. Subject to status. 18 plus. Business users only. T's and C's, mileage limitations and exclusions apply.
Are estate agents revolting?
At eMove we are really revolting. We're revolting and revolutionising to create an easier and fairer way to sell your home. We're calling it an e-movement, combining the benefits and savings of online with real dedicated property experts at every step of your sale. Revolt with us. Join the e-movement. Visit emove.co.uk. Rated the UK's #1 hybrid estate agent on all agents.
Looking for the perfect Mother's Day gift? We've got just the thing at the perfume shop. Spoil your mum with Marc Jacobs Oh So Decadent. On offer now from $32.99 for 50ml, saving you £31. Plus we can gift wrap it for free, so you don't have to. Shop in store or online at theperfumeshop.com. Offer ends 14th of March while stocks last.
Days and weeks can fly by, but if you're worried it's cancer, time can slow down and almost stop. That's why, with Bupa Health Insurance, you can call us about any symptom of cancer without seeing your GP first. Depending on your cover and your symptoms, we could even refer you to a consultant there and then. Bupa Health Insurance. For living. To find out more, search Bupa. Direct access services may not be available for some underwriting methods, and you may need to provide evidence the conditions are not pre-existing.
George McTavish, Neephead Galloway, you have been found guilty of presenting dangerously compelling radio. How do you plead?
Guilty, as charged. Never said that before. The mother of all talk shows, with George Galloway. Join me for 3 hours of double galvanized opinion, supercharged debate, and highly energized crystalline vision. Radio Free Galloway. Knock me right down and I'll bounce right back. The mother of all talk shows, with George Galloway.
Order! Tomorrow night.
Order!
The nation's new home of sizzling debate.
Talk Radio. Maybe you can't handle the truth.
Uncut, after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Evening, John.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, John.
Good evening, Cuff.
Hello.
John was upset that you weren't here yesterday.
Good, I'm glad someone was.
I told him to get a life. Told him to grow up, man up, stop being a snowflake and get a life.
You didn't. I heard what you said to him. He didn't say that at all, did he, John?
Well, I was watching you. I think you were on a mission last night, weren't you, Cuff?
This could get interesting. Go on.
You were watching me from where?
On Periscope.
What?
What?
What do you mean? Oh, what, was she talking on Periscope?
You may well have been on the other one, YouTube. I'm just guessing you were looking for...
He's talking about you were typing on there.
Oh, right.
No, she didn't type anything. She just logged in.
Yeah,
and then buggered off.
Aye. Just checking on people, I think.
I was just making sure everything was running according to my plans.
She's obsessed with this place, John. She's like one of those... sad old spinsters, unless she's married, but just who hasn't got a life.
I just wanted to make sure it was a bit rubbish, and it was, so I was happy.
Hasn't got a life and is obsessed with and this show is her life, and I think that's pathetic.
She's just looking after it, and that's fine by me.
I think she's pathetic for that. This show is her life, and it's I think it's sad. I think it's sad.
Oh, dear me.
I think she's a sad case.
I just don't want you getting sacked again, because when you go, then I have to go. That's it. I was looking after my own interests, to be honest.
Fine, that's a good idea. Aye. You know, when you were asking earlier about people being a cell.
You're not a boot. He's totally Newcastle there. You're not a boot. He said this. He said it in that sentence.
I understand him perfectly.
No, I understand it. I'm just in its full on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've tried to clean up my accent.
No, don't. I love it. No, I wasn't having a pop. I loved it. It was just a sentence. That sentence was so rich with accentisms that I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Well, I remember Thomas picking up on it the other night, and he said it was a bit hard to follow.
Oh, screw him.
Thomas? Thomas?
All right. Well, he's got a better accent than me, hasn't he?
Who's Thomas? Does Thomas call us?
You know Thomas.
Walsh, come on.
Oh, Thomas Walsh. Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so where am I won't tell you about the cell bit, because I want to talk about a couple of other things, if that's fine.
You talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Right, let's hear this piss thing, what you're on about.
That came out of left field.
Well, if it's coming out of left field, I'd suggest going to see a doctor.
It's not a button presser, because you've let it go a few times.
How much would you have to be paid to drink Joe Swash's urine?
No, it's not that, no.
£500.
You couldn't pay us enough for that.
All right,
come on, we got price.
Right. There's 500 quid on the table, and there's a glass of Joe Swash's wee.
It's not even a pint. It's not even
It's just
half
it's
a
just
pint.
a glass.
No thanks.
Not for 500 quid?
Nope.
What about 1,000 English pounds?
No.
All right, mate. All right, John. This is life-changing money I'm about to offer you.
It's not.
£25,000.
It's a porn, isn't it?
There we go. There we go.
Everybody's got a price. The theme of the Magic Christian. Everybody's got a price. John would drink Joe Swash's urine for 25 grand, and I was prepared to go up to 100.
No, I would be prepared to negotiate, like. Just a little bit interesting when you said that.
Go on then, negotiate with me. Come on then, barter, haggle.
Can I tell you a story, something? Because I might already done it before.
Go on then. Oh.
You know when, hold on. Sorry, I've got to take my teeth.
Did your teeth just fall out then?
I have had to.
I heard that. I heard it.
My granddad used to do that as a joke. He'd pop them out. And it was that noise.
His words sort of melted. That was his teeth falling out.
It's only a little pallet. I've only got 3 in front, you know, and it's, every time my jaw jumps up and doing the rattle as well, you know, unless I've got them glued. Anyway,
you want to get some blue tack on that?
Well, I do use something, but I can't remember what it's called now. But it wears
Denture grip.
Something like that.
Fix a dent.
One of them.
Yeah.
I fix a dent. I think that's it. You know,
a bit more on.
I grew up on like a council housing estate, and like a lot of them in the days gone by, they used to have like trips away to little like I don't know, like away to the seaside or away to a theme park and stuff, you know. So just for the kids, so like a lot of people chipped in and they got the bus.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, a shower-bang.
More or less, but obviously they're a bit more modern.
Yeah.
Like later on. Yeah. So anyway, my sister-in-law invited me and my wife to go to one of these trips, and I think it was away to was either Flamingo Land or somewhere like that. But anyway, my sister-in-law, like on the morning time when we got on the bus, she made a cup of tea for all, because they've got the tea making facilities. So when I was drinking it, I thought, no, this is not right. And it wasn't because it was salty, it was because it tasted more or less of alcohol.
Oh no.
So it's obviously been on a trip the night before.
No.
And so, you know, the boys have just lifted the lid up and let go in there.
They've had a pee in the tea urn.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh no. No. Oh, John.
Oh my goodness.
How much of it did you drink, and how many cups did your sister make out of piss tea?
She probably made about 6 or 7 cups, but I only had a few sips, and I knew there was something wrong with it.
Oh, mate! I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been a shit sandwich.
Something, you know.
Yeah. Flipping heck, John.
And you're on about that bloke before, like swallow the drugs or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't do a poo for 44 days.
Been without the crap.
Right. What has happened to John? I thought he was a classy bloke.
I think it turned him.
Yeah. He wasn't like this yesterday when you weren't here, Kath. You brought the muck out of him. Literally, it's going to seem.
I didn't think I spoke to you yesterday, Ian. Did I?
I don't remember what I did 2 hours ago.
No, that was John with a sack on his head.
That
was the other John.
Yes.
John, don't half go on.
Right, the crap one. The longest I've went is 10 days.
With what? Sorry?
I've went without one for 10 days.
I thought you said 10 years. What the hell? 10 days, what happened?
Well, I injured me back. And like, my back went into a spasm.
Yeah. Oh.
But luckily, strangely enough, I was in bed at the time eating the Sunday dinner. Can you believe that?
Whoa, rewind, what was that?
Did he just say he was in bed eating a Sunday dinner when his back spasmed and he couldn't poo for 10 days?
Well, that's exactly right.
That is, I mean, I don't like eating in bed. People say, oh, Father's Day, your birthday, we'll do your breakfast in bed. No, it's horrible. But a Sunday dinner?
I didn't actually get to eat it because, like, I went to bed because I'd been doing a lot of DIY in the house and I was in pain and I went to bed and the wife brought me dinner up.
Oh.
You get gravy everywhere. Gravy on your sheets. I hope it's gravy anyway.
I tried to get up to get me dinner, and then my back went. But that was on a Sunday, and Monday, my wife was going to go on holiday. So what did she do? She didn't cancel, she just went.
She just went on holiday and left you?
Bye-bye. I bet you were saying, oh, you should go without me, thinking she wouldn't. She was packing her bag.
Well, I didn't suppose there's anything to do with it, but I was surprised when she went. But luckily, my son was nothing about, and he could help us, you know.
Yeah.
So I lay in bed about 7 days, and like he looked up at us with the other toiletry matters, you know, like emptying the bottles and stuff.
Putting it in the tea, yeah.
But like at the finish, he said, "I've got to get you to the hospital." So I went, and it took them ages to get us down the stairs, because I was pretty heavy bloke, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're heavy.
And they did give us some tablets that eased us, but they couldn't do anything for us. No. So they more or less brought us back and just dumped us on the living room floor, which is where I spent the next couple of nights.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably the 11th year that I did do. I managed to get upstairs to do that, you know.
And on the 11th day,
God created John's dumb.
Ian, can I ask you something?
Yeah, mate. I feel we've shared such intimate details. You can ask me anything. Yeah, go on.
Well, I thought I'd lost you there.
No.
Do you know? Have you ever heard of Ivan Major?
Of who?
Ivan Major.
No, I have not, sir.
All right, because I sent you a tweet today to see if you knew about him. You know.
Oh, I've not really been looking. I'm trying not to go on Twitter too much at the moment, and I missed it. Who is he?
Well, he's the greatest ever speedway rider there ever was.
Oh.
You know, I thought you might have heard of him. He was like more famous in the 70s, you know.
Wait, but he was no Evel Knievel.
Well,
different discipline, mate.
Yeah, Evel Knievel stunts
exactly,
and showmanship.
He was more of a showman, him, like, you know.
John, you've given us so much to think about.
Okay, well, I'm not
and to be grateful for.
In the cell
no, let's leave that for another night. Thank you, mate. Cheers. 0344.
I want to be that wife one day.
499
Bye.
He
comes back with a straw donkey. He's still in the same position. Brilliant.
Wow. What an hour. What an hour. The 11 o'clock hour is really starting to turn into something very, very strange. Do you remember when this is before I went away. This is what going away did. But the calls used to drive about 11:15 and wouldn't pick up until about midnight again. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now we've got Kadir, you've been waiting for ages. I do apologise. You'll be the first call after midnight. I promise. After that, we've got no other calls lined up. So now is a really, really good time to call in. UFOs, animals we don't need, ever spent the night in the cell, the last time you used a video cassette recorder. Oh, and you know the score, guys. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. 0344 499 1000. 0344 499 1000. It'll cost you pennies at the most, probably free for a lot of you. And you'll speak to Sam and he'll give you a call straight back anyway. This is the Late Night Alternative. She's Catherine Boyle. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
What an hour!
Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
No, good, thank you.
With breakdown cover from the AA, we'll do whatever it takes to make sure your big wheels keep on turning. Our mechanics usually fix your car within 30 minutes of arriving. Breakdown cover from the AA. Because anything can happen.
Landlords, Direct Line guarantees to beat other insurers' renewal premiums for the same cover. Can your insurance do that? Switch to Direct Line Landlord. New customers only. Qualifying criteria apply. Underwritten by UK Insurance Limited.
I start with an O. I end with a Y. I'm the second biggest preventable cause of cancer. What am I?
Did you guess it? The biggest preventable cause of cancer after smoking is obesity. Search Cancer Research UK Obesity for the facts.
Right now at Wren, all kitchens are half price, plus VAT free when you buy 5 or more fully assembled units. Hurry, offer ends Monday the 19th.
Oi! Move over, football! Cheltenham's coming through, and nothing gets the heart pounding harder. But could it be better? Sky Bet think it could. That's why every day at Cheltenham, for new and existing customers, it's money back as a free bet if you lose in the first race. We've no offer like it, because there's no festival like it. Sky Bet, Britain's most popular online bookmaker, making betting better. When the fun stops, stop. 18 plus, begambleaware.org, eligibility restrictions, max refund £20, T's and C's apply.
You will never be Chuck Norris. You will never save the world. But you can save up to 40% on the Fiat Professional range of vans. That's pretty cool. Okay, it's not as cool as being Chuck, but this ain't a movie. Save up to 40% at your Fiat Professional dealer now.
T's and C's apply. Saving up to 40% varies depending on Fiat Professional model. Valid until 31/03/18. Visit fiatprofessional.co.uk for more information.
Oh yeah.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio, on the hour news headlines.
Good morning, I'm Carl Hartley. 21 people have been treated after Sunday's nerve agent attack in Salisbury. The suspected targets, former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia, are both seriously ill in hospital. A police officer
He does that the syllable at the end of the word.
has been awake and talking. Former UN Chemical Weapons Inspector Jerry Smith says it was an audacious attack.
Using something like a nerve agent is clearly it's a significant effort, and of course it wasn't covert. The users must have known that they were going to be discovered, or the method of injuring this person was going to be discovered, and therefore it sends a message.
Next, and the man known as the M25 rapist has died in jail whilst being considered for release. Antonio Emilia was given 7 life sentences in 2004 for a series of rapes across the home counties against victims as young as 10. A video tweeted by a student who was racially abused has led to 2 arrests. Police are questioning the 18-year-olds over the clip recorded at Nottingham Trent University. It shows people shouting, "We are the black haters," and sign the Brexit Papers. Tatenda Canary is president of the UNI's African Caribbean Society and says the woman who was targeted is in shock.
I think this whole situation has been overwhelming, especially with the huge, attention in the media, and obviously media being outside her house. I think really and truly she just wants to be on her own and with her loved ones. So I feel like it's definitely been overwhelming, very emotional for her.
KFC has returned to its old delivery contractor to supply chicken to restaurants after hundreds of outlets were forced to close last month. Bidvest Logistics had previously lost its KFC contractor to DHL. And staff at John Lewis and Waitrose will see their bonuses cut for a 5th year in a row after a big fall in annual profits. Dry overnight, Friday will see bright spells for many in northern areas, whereas southern England and Wales will be wet, highs of 9 degrees.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk. Fun called.
I'm not sure. I tell you what we'll do. We'll do an A to Z of because it was International Day of the Lady. We're going to do an A to Z of songs that have got ladies' names in.
Okay.
Right. So we'll do. Right. We're going to start. Hang on a minute. Right.
I've got it.
Hang on. No, well, hang on, because we've got to let the listener play as well.
No.
Go on. Barbara C. Oh, Carol. Boom, boom, boom. I am but a fool. D. Dirty Diana. Oh, this is going to be easy. Dirty Diana. If you want to play, 0344 499 1000. E. Oh, E. That's a tough one. It's got to be a song called Elizabeth, but unless we know it, it doesn't count.
Eleanor Rigby.
Eleanor Rigby, having a F. Well, Fernando's a boy's name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, there we go. We stop at F. You can play 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Kadir.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thank you, Kadir. What have you got for us tonight?
Well, I've got that thing about being in a cell.
Okay.
I think I currently am in one.
Well, you've wasted your phone call, because we ain't going to help.
Well, no. It's not a conventional cell.
I suspected it wouldn't be. Is it a dark cell?
No. It's I'm taking part in a clinical trial.
Okay.
For...
And I think...
Yours was actually a bit... Hang on a minute, yours was actually a bit racist.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was, actually. Mine was rude.
Yours was rude.
Yours was racist.
Okay.
The two R's. Hey, sorry, what were you saying?
Well, it's a clinical trial, and I think it's the worst decision of my life.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Stop waiting for me to nudge you along and just tell us what's happening.
What are they testing on you?
They're testing the flu virus tomorrow. They're giving me a strain of the flu.
Well, don't forget the elephant, guys. Remember that when they...
That's awful when they all swelled up.
One of them died recently, I think.
No.
Yeah, because they were in the news. I remember hearing them in the news about 3 months ago. And one of them died recently. Didn't they get cancer or something?
God, I better check this.
This is what... that was the nickname that the press gave them. These guys, the 4 lads, I think, were testing what was supposed to be a very simple vaccine test, and they swelled up. Their bodies swelled up. I'm sure one of them died.
Cheers for that.
Recently. Hang on a second. Well, you carry on, Kadir, while Catherine does her research.
Well, I arrived yesterday, I think, and it feels like the longest 2 days of my life. I can't leave my room. I've got a TV and a PS3 that doesn't work.
A PS3? Wowzers.
Yeah, I've got... Well, I did bring a DVD, Borat, but I've watched that twice.
It doesn't bear watching twice, does it?
I've never seen it.
Once will do.
No.
But I've got internet access, that's alright, but even that gets boring after a while.
Yeah. All I do on the internet is Twitter, YouTube, Amazon and Facebook. That's it. eBay. That's it. Those are the 5 sites I go to. I don't go to any other sites. Oh, I go to Talk Forum to read about someone getting their hat out and begging for people to give them money to promote racists. Anyway, but go on, carry on.
Well, the food is the worst thing because it's microwaved, so I've got to stay in this room for 2 weeks.
Right. Here's the question on everyone's lips. How much are you getting paid?
$3,000.
Right, stop whinging and get stuffed. I mean, jeez.
They're about to inject you with the flu. I don't think microwave meals are your worst problem right now.
Jeez. You found out anything about those guys?
One of them was left with 6 failing organs. Gosh.
Yeah, it was
left
horrific.
6 men with failing organs and amputated limbs. I don't think anyone died.
What year was that? 6 years ago?
It was more than 11 years ago.
One of them was in the news recently. One of them was in the news. That's why recently, the last 3 months. Maybe the last year. Maybe I'm thinking of 11 years ago. I don't know. Let's go to Sally. Good evening, Sally.
Hello.
Hello, Sally.
Hello. It's quite a depressing story, so I apologise.
That's okay. Don't you worry. We're waiting. There must be a song. Hang on a minute. There must be a song about a Fiona. Or a... it's a tough one, isn't it? We can't fail on F. Anyway, go on. Let's hear you. Don't worry, Sally. We'll play some canned laughter or something to make the mood upbeat and positive.
Okay. Good.
But I've got some bad news.
Yeah.
Looking at my screen, I see all the tweets that mention Talk Radio.
Yeah.
Right, and someone's retweeted Johnny Seifert, who used to work here.
He still works there.
What?
Wow.
And apparently, at 6:15 today, on the Eamon Holmes show, takes every kind of people.
No!
Nick Knowles was on it. Nick Knowles was on it. He lives near me, apparently. So I've got to be really careful when I go out. Anyway, go on, Gil. Go on, Gil.
Okay, right. So, and it was International Women's Day yesterday.
Yes.
Right, I spent the night in a cell. I was arrested for assault.
Oh.
I was in a violent relationship.
Yeah.
And one night I had enough and he came off worse.
Oh, blimey.
So I ended up in the cell. Luckily the police managed to work out that I was actually the victim. And yeah, it was horrible.
Well, hang on, because the whole experience sounds horrific. I mean, I don't quite know where to get my teeth into, because I wouldn't know where to begin, because the whole thing sounds horrific. But you got carted away because he came off worse.
Yeah.
So what, you were defending yourself?
Well, it got to a point where he had me by the throat.
Yeah.
In the hallway.
Oh, mate.
And we had these candlesticks on the walls.
Okay, I'm tempted to ask
Like
if you were
you can
living in the
hang
1800s, but okay, go on. It's like a game of Cluedo, this, isn't it?
So I managed to reach for one, and I whacked him, and he bled from the head.
Yeah.
And I managed to get upstairs and lock myself in the bedroom, phone the police. And when the police arrived, they saw him first. And about 5 minutes later, they came upstairs, knocked on the door. I was bleeding from the mouth and the nose. And I tried to explain to them what had happened. And the male officer said to me, if my wife had done that to me, I would have smacked her in the face too. So I knew where it was going to go.
Blimey, wow. That's
So
outrageous.
they carted me off.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I asked for a solicitor and a change of clothes because I had accidentally picked up his trousers and they didn't fit me properly. So they got me a change of clothes. And the female officer watched me change.
No.
And by that time, all my bruises had come up.
Right, okay.
And she stood there and she just couldn't believe it. And we counted them, and there was 82 altogether.
Oh, mate. That's, wow.
I had my solicitor. The police officer, she was lovely. And she advised me, which she shouldn't have done, to not say anything when she was interviewing me. And then I left without charge.
Yeah.
And I walked outside, and when I was arrested that night, I was also, at the same time, a woman had been arrested for, I think she was, prostitute, she was soliciting. And she had been released too. And I was outside waiting for my solicitor to give me a lift home. And she came up to me and she asked me if I was all right, and she offered me some money to get home because I didn't know where I was at the time. We just moved up to Yorkshire and I didn't know the place very well. And obviously I said to her, no, my sister's giving me a lift home and everything. And I watched her get into this car with this bloke who I presumed was her pimp. And I just thought to myself, the situation that she's in and the situation that I'm in, I could probably get out of my situation a lot better than she could. So I went home, packed my bags, got my kids, and left.
Hey, good for you.
And, so if there's any women listening out there who, because I know it happens quite a lot, women who have defended themselves end up getting arrested. Just don't give up, and just, if you can, get out. I wish I'd got out sooner, but then I wouldn't have my kids. So
well, that's the thing you've the positive things you've got out of an horrific violent relationship. You got them. That's something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't the last time he hit me, though. So yeah. But yeah, don't give up and try and get out. So
Hey, nice one, Sally. Thank you for sharing. Nice one. You know what I mean by that.
I know.
You know, I appreciate you can share that story in such a a strong and confident way, and I think it's a good message you're getting out there. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Cheers, Sally.
Bye.
Bye. Blimey, isn't it? Wowzers. Let's have a break.
Talk Radio, digital debate for the UK.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.
Oi! Move over, football. Cheltenham's coming through, and nothing gets the heart pounding harder. But could it be better? Sky Bet think it could. That's why every day at Cheltenham, for new and existing customers, it's money back as a free bet if you lose in the first race. We've no offer like it, because there's no festival like it. Sky Bet,
I'm teasing you.
Britain's most popular online bookmaker, making betting better.
Oh, don't feel
One-stop
terrible, racist.
stop. 18 plus, begambleaware.org, eligibility restrictions, max refund £20, T's and C's apply.
I think the job of being a teacher is so rewarding in so many ways.
The connection between you and the whole class, that's still unbeatable.
When my pupils are successful, it feels incredible.
I think the greatest thing for me is seeing the pupils that I teach love the subject as much as I do.
I don't think there's any other job where you get the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search, apply to teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
At Wren, we put our heart and soul into every kitchen. But don't take our word for it. Your Home magazine voted us Best Kitchen Retailer 2018. Visit today to find out why.
At Morrison's, treat Mum to Maschio Prosecco or Villa Maria Sauvignon Blanc for £6 each. And a box of Ferrero Rocher for £5. Mother's Day. Morrison's makes it.
Majority of stores while stocks last. Prosecco Max 6, Wine Max 24, 75 centilitres, Ferrero Rocher 300 grams, ends 11th of March. Please drink responsibly.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
Paul Ross is on at 1 o'clock. Talk Radio goes all through the night. Paul Ross is on at 1, and then James Max at 5. And I listen to Paul Ross on the way home. But also when I get home, I kind of flick around the radio stations. But I was up quite late last night because I was fiddling around on the computer. Trying to work out a technical thing, and I just had the radio on in the background, and I was listening to a bit of Paul, and I listened to not much of London's biggest C word, but I listened to a little bit of Dotted on 5 Live, and I can't remember what the story was, but he was talking about women in abusive, violent relationships, and there's a guy phoned up and argued for 25 minutes about it also happens to men. Why is it whenever any woman, and this always happens, whenever any woman shares a story about being the victim of being in a violent relationship, and a guy phoned up and argued for 25 minutes about it also happens to men. Why is it whenever any woman, and this always happens, feels like whenever any Jed, pick up the phone instead of being a twat on YouTube. Men being abused isn't spoken about as often because it doesn't happen as often, right? But it is actually spoken about quite a lot. But that to me, Jed, who said it on YouTube, feels like an attempt to undermine that incredible story that we just heard. Why would you want to in any way take the edge off what we've just heard? Why would you want to do that?
They call it whataboutism, don't they? It kind of
is it a thing?
It sort of, and it does undermine.
It just why would you? Okay, all right, Jed. We had a fella phone up today who may well be a drug addict, right? Why didn't you go? Women are also drug addicts too. Why didn't you do that then, Jed? Can you answer that? Women are also drug addicts too.
We talk a lot about the number of men who take their own lives, male suicide.
Women commit suicide too.
But specifically, men do it more. That's why. But we're not taking away from the tragedy of anyone doing it.
Jed's gone a bit quiet. Pick up the phone, Jed. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Why have you got... And this fella on talking to Dotton last night was going on, and Dotton's going, yep, okay, that's great, but tonight we're specifically talking about this. There was a story about it. There was a story that a charity had announced figures on something I don't know. Jed, you are undermining.
Whether that's what you meant to do or not, that's what happens.
That is what happens. You know, that's if you want to share that story about your ex, then you can phone up and share it. But just sniping, don't forget it happens to men too. No, we haven't forgotten, but we were really lucky then that someone who normally phones up and does some very light, frothy stuff, we were really privileged that she shared something completely, very, very intimate and a unique experience, unique in the specifics of it. Of course, it happens to lots of people. Let's just feel lucky that we got to hear that.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Women's Aid did a census.
This is it. Go on.
9 out of 10 victims, women who were murdered by men, were murdered by someone they knew.
That was it. So that's it. That's it.
That's 113 women killed by men in England, Wales and Northern Ireland last year. 85 died in their homes.
Yeah. It's incredible. And that's me banging on about another radio station. Don't forget, Talk Radio is 24 hours a day now, almost 24 hours. It stops at 6:30 and then it starts again at 10 o'clock in the morning. But Paul Ross is on at 1 till 5. 4 hours he does. And then James Max is on at 5:30, and that's what I listen to when I'm driving home. Let's go to Ray. Good evening, Ray.
Good evening. I've got a song beginning with F.
Here we go. We can't continue until we've got that. Go on.
Okay, now, I'm not being rude. This is a genuine Bee Gees record.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Fanny, be tender with my love.
Yeah, he's absolutely right, Fanny, be tender with my love. He's absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's absolutely right.
Gloria.
All right, hang on a second.
I was just about to say that.
Well, that's easy for you to say now. Helen Wheels! Oh! We're going to do it! Helen Wheels, H-I. Oh, I's going to be tricky. Is there a song called Isla anywhere, Ray? Don't Google it, Ray!
Oh, you know what we forgot?
What?
Irene, is there an Irene?
Eleanor.
What?
By the Turtles, we forgot Eleanor Free.
No, we've got Eleanor Rigby.
I know, but...
What do you mean we forgot it?
I prefer that song.
Tough. Hang on, what did you say?
Irene.
Eileen begins with E.
Irene.
Good Night, Irene. Good Night, Irene's a song. Good Night, Irene.
J.
Jenny from the Block. I'm having Jenny from the Block.
Or even better, Jane.
Right, I'm cutting you off.
K.
Hang on a minute, let me write these down. Jenny from the Block. We're compiling an A to Z of, in celebration of it, 22 minutes since National Women's Day finished. We're compiling a list of songs with women names in alphabetically. K.
Maybe Katie.
Yeah, maybe
Kate.
Kate by the. Let's have Maybe Katie by the Bare Naked Ladies. What's a maybe about? What's a maybe about? K L H I J K L. That's how the alphabet works, isn't it? L.
Layla.
You got me on my knees, Layla. I'm drinking Joe Swash's piece. K L M.
Mandy. Oh, Mandy.
Oh, Mandy. N. Nikita, you will never know. And then O. Olive?
I don't think that's a
song. Well, no, she was a singer, wasn't she?
Yeah.
You're not alone. I got that album. It was a great album. I thought the better song was, what was the other song off of that? You're not alone. Hang on a minute, what was the other song by Olive that was a great song? I love that. Tomorrow's show is me reading up on Olive and where they are now. We're looking for an O, a song with a woman's name's got to be in the title. It can't just be in the song, it's got to be in the title. And it can't be O Carol, that doesn't count. Let's go to Tony. Good evening, Tony.
Hello, Ian, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Tony. What have you got for us?
I just wanted to, I feel really embarrassed doing this, sort of tail end of International Women's Day.
Yes.
But my name's not actually really Tony, and believe it or not, I'm not Jez or Jed, or it was either.
Yes.
But I wanted to just talk about why I think, however clumsily they often do it.
Yes.
Men do sometimes need to say men get abused as well.
Yeah, but well, if you, maybe I don't know if you're about to share a story of abuse or not. I don't know, but
I won't go into detail about it because I say, but no, go on. Sorry.
No, but all I say is, and if you're going to share a story with us, then we are privileged and honoured to hear that, of course. But all I will say is that of course it happens, but every time it's talked about in terms of women, people go, don't forget it happens to men too. And I don't want to demean your point that you're going to phone it. You're going to tell us.
No, I know, but I just want to say why I think people feel the need to do that. And I also agree that they often do it really clumsily.
Yeah.
And I hate it when men who've been abused, and I've seen it so often, they sort of turn their understandable anger towards, blaming feminism for being abused or whatever, which is crazy. I also recognise absolutely, believe it or not, actually, that because I do know the figures for this. The numbers of men and women abused are actually very similar. It's slightly more women.
Right. But why can't we just know? But why can't we just know? But hang on. But why, when a woman shares a story like that, do people then have to go, oh yeah, but it happens to men too? But why?
I know they shouldn't do. They shouldn't do, and they do it clumsily. But I can.
No, they shouldn't. There's not clumsily. They just shouldn't do it.
Well, I think it's partly because I know you used the analogy of say suicide or something, and I get, obviously that is one, as you say, where more men do. But I think generally when people don't talk about. People talk about things like suicide or say, I don't know, more men get stabbed or whatever, but people talk about stabbings. But when I hear, so often when I hear, Theresa May did it this week, when Theresa May, they've changed the law about domestic violence, obviously that's about all victims of domestic violence, isn't it?
Right.
Men and women. But the pronoun, the pronouns that are used are exclusively female.
I don't want this to become a dick measuring contest, but you've said something that is statistically wrong, right? According to this website I've got here, domestic abuse will affect 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men.
Yeah.
So it's not about the same, and leads to, on average, 2 women being murdered each week. And 30 men a year. So I don't want to compare. Hang on a minute, Tony. Hang on a minute, right? I don't want to make this my army's bigger than your army, but what you've said is factually incorrect.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that's necessarily true, but it depends, of course.
You said it was really similar. You said they were really similar.
It is. But
it isn't.
It depends how you measure it, because what do you take?
Why are you doing, Tony? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Do you take the number of people who said they've been abused? Figures?
Yeah, you take the official statistics, yes. Why are you doing this?
But there's more than one way of measuring those official
Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to demean? Why are you trying to demean the story that we were lucky enough to hear?
I didn't hear it. I had to turn it off.
Right. So
it was painful.
Right. Okay. So why couldn't you just leave that be? Why you phoned up? You phoned up not to say. That story was so painful I couldn't listen to it. I'd like to share my story. You phoned up to say it also happens to men too.
No, I didn't. I didn't phone up to say that.
But that's what you're saying.
I phoned up to say I think I can understand why people feel the need to say that.
Well, then tell me why, because you haven't said that so far, and you're just sounding insensitive at the moment.
Because they feel excluded from the conversation about it.
Well, when the conversation is, imagine the conversation was specifically about women being abused by their male partners, then yes, they would be excluded from that, because that would be the specifics of the conversation. Every time it gets mentioned, people go, yeah, it happens to men too. We know it does. Why every time does the hand have to go up like that?
I don't think it does.
It does. I think it does, Tony.
No, sorry. I don't think it should. Sorry, but I'm saying I understand. I understand people's. As someone who obviously was in an abusive relationship, and my experience of it. I also spent a night in the cells, and. When I came out, I mean, okay, here's, but where I live, there's basically one big domestic abuse charity, which gets sort of, the council funds to, a couple of million a year or whatever. And it's, it's a big organisation, and they wouldn't speak to me, because I'm a straight man. Now just to be really clear, okay, I absolutely recognise my privilege as being a white straight male. I know that in almost every part of life, internationally and in this country as well, that I've got the sort of the.
Well, I'm reading. Listen, I don't want to have a go at you if you do, but I'm reading statistics from different sites, and they're all backing up. They're all saying what they're all saying that what you said at the start of this conversation is not true.
Okay, have a look at. There's a site called, and I'm not about to put out some stupid.
I've looked at No, I'm not, because I've just googled two sites, right? I've googled one that is a women's charity, and I'm now on one called Mankind, where it says 13% of men say they've been victim of domestic abuse. This is 2016. 27% are women. For every 3 victims of domestic abuse, 2 will be women, 1 will be male. That's 2.2 million male victims and 4.5 million female victims. So you saying it's kind of equal is simply not true.
The biggest ever meta-study of
Tony,
was done by partner abuse, which is a scientific peer review.
Tony, we could look. Tony, you're just in the States.
But it was an international. It was
right, Tony. Listen, you've come on and you've said something, and I've just found the first 2 things I've looked at: a women's charity and a men's organisation have both said you're wrong. So I'm afraid that's the thing. You've still not told me, and I'm really sorry that it happened to you. Of course I am. And now it sounds like I'm having a go at someone who's a victim of spousal abuse, which is not my intention at all.
Actually, but yeah.
Sorry.
I still am actually, but yeah.
Okay, well, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. But why don't you tell us what about that instead of saying it's important that men know it happens too.
Because if I did, then it would do was it would come across as me saying, well, this situation's worse.
No, it wouldn't. It would come across. I tell you what, it would come across is someone phoning up saying, "Do you know what? I heard a story earlier on that was really powerful. I couldn't listen to it. It was so upsetting. I'd like to share my experience." But instead, you've come on and you've said,
"Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to come across like that."
Okay, well, listen, I don't want to fall out with you, man. Of course, I don't want to fall out with you.
I really don't.
All right, good. Well, in that case, let's.
As I say,
let's start again.
I often say to people, I really do dislike it when people turn. I dislike it when it's turned into men versus women.
Yeah, okay? Exactly, and it should.
And I think that all I'm trying to say is that when you're a male who's a victim of it, and the way that it's treated by policymakers and by charities like Women's Aid and other charities, it's treated as being something which happens to men. It happens to women. And if you look at the reports, it says things like my local authority.
You're looking at the wrong enemies. You're looking, Tony. Women's Aid are not the enemies.
It does. I know they're not. But if you look at what they say yes, it happens to men too. But not very often. Normally, it's not very serious, and often when
it doesn't. Women's Aid don't say that.
They're just making it up.
No, they don't.
I can assure you.
Where on the Women's Aid website, Tony, does it say that men are generally making it up?
I don't have it in front of me.
Because I don't think it does, mate. If it does, I apologise.
Okay.
I don't think it does.
That line, I can't remember that particular line, because it says bluntly, is they're making it up. I think that one comes from my local authority's policy report.
Well, listen, Tony. Listen, you've just accused Women's Aid. Tony, please listen. Please listen to me. You've just accused Women's Aid of saying that when men talk about spousal abuse, they're making it up and it's not that serious, and that's simply not true. And you've just said that that's not true. And listen, I don't want to argue.
I don't know whether that's true or not.
Well, you just said it was true. You just argued it was true.
I was talking about more than one thing. I'm talking about charities and talking about local authorities.
Well, your anger is directed, I would suggest, at the wrong people.
I'm not angry.
You are.
I'm not angry at women's aid. Trust me about that.
But you brought them up in a derogatory way.
I am.
What's going on
I'm
with
not
you?
angry at women's aid.
What's the situation with you?
It's so awful. I can't even really talk about it.
Okay, well, you don't.
Even that I don't feel able to, but actually, it's so awful that it's.
You don't have to talk about it, man. Of course, you don't have to talk about it if it's so upsetting. Of course not.
I guess it's just that I think that the one criticism I have of women's aid is that I think that they.
Don't. You don't need to, Tony. Tony, no, please.
Sounds like I'm going to say something really bad.
Well, you're going to criticise women's aid, and they're nothing to do. They're not the enemy, man. Let's try and find a solution instead of pointing the finger elsewhere.
But it's the idea that it is a sort of it is a gendered crime.
That's not women's aid. That's not what Women Aid are saying. Women Aid are there to support women. That's what they're there to support. Yeah. That's an unfair criticism. It's like saying, the NSPCC, man, they won't look after me and I'm an adult. It's not what they're set up for.
I know that. But there isn't. It isn't. I realise, it's that certainly the what is certainly true is that in terms of very serious violence and murders and things, it's almost exclusively men committing those crimes against women. So I agree that there should be it should be focused more towards women. Of course, it should. The majority of funding should go towards women's services. Of course, it should. But for me, there was absolutely nothing, and my experience of the police, wasn't the same as the last callers, and because there is an assumption that that's what men do, and it's not always correct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying.
I'm sorry if I express that clumsy myself, because all I'm trying to say really is I understand why people say it, but I realise, I agree also that you shouldn't, hijack.
I think that people are wrong to say it. I think that people are wrong to say it after something like that. But I also, but that doesn't mean that in any way I think that male victims of spousal abuse, whether it be in a heterosexual or a gay relationship, I don't think that, I take it on board that is, of course, a very, very serious issue. Of course I do. But that shouldn't even warrant me saying that, because that is obvious, that it should be obvious that we think that. I'm worried about you, Tony.
Well, yeah.
Who have you got in your life that you can talk to about this?
Well, no one really, because it's now got to. This relationship was actually several years ago, but we had a kid together.
Yeah.
And since I sort of left her, and she was very angry about that, obviously, then she sort of tried to use the kid. She told her that I like looking at little girls in the nude. She told her she sort of did a thing where she suggested that her life with me was hell, and over the years I always thought that my daughter got it, when my second child was born. Her mum said to my daughter, my other daughter said, when the baby comes, then Daddy won't love you anymore. And there's 100 examples I can give you. We always knew, me and my new partner, we always knew that. This is the awful thing. Sorry, I'm getting all over the place here.
No, it doesn't matter. You're just right.
the reason I originally left is that she made an allegation of domestic violence against me. She was attacking me with the plug end of a charge cable, which she was swinging at my head. I was lying on a sofa on my back with my legs in the air and was kicking them out and trying to stop her getting towards me. She didn't make connection with me, so I didn't have any injuries. She did pull out lots of hair and do other things, but on that occasion, I didn't have any bruises or cuts, which I did obviously on lots of other occasions. A couple of days later, she was angry about something else, and her response, to try and sort of teach me a lesson was to go to the police and show them a bruise that she'd got from when I was trying to get her away from me, and tell them that I'd kicked her. I left her. They charged and arrested me. I spent a night in the cell. It was horrible. She then wanted me back, so she dropped support for the prosecution, and the case was dropped. But it was really traumatic, and really, it took a long time to, I'd feel panic when I saw police cars, and, it was horrible. I went for a court case, which I won. I got 50-50 contact with my daughter, had a new relationship, another child, and as I say, over the years there were always these awful things that were being said to my daughter, and we also always knew, and we talked about it, we acknowledged it, we talked about how we knew that another allegation would come, and because she couldn't get me anymore, she couldn't hit me anymore, she couldn't stop me going out anymore, she couldn't do any of those things, so she only had that to do. So we knew it was going to come, and even though we knew it was going to come, we couldn't stop it. And we also knew what the allegation was going to be, because what else could it be? To have such extreme power that it could take someone's life away, and that allegation did come. And despite the fact that it was looked into by social services and by the police, and despite the fact that none of them took any action, I've not seen my child for about a year, and I've now split up with my new partner because it's not that she believed the allegation at all. She knew it wasn't true, but obviously the way that I was affected by it, and the effect of just me being there had on the other kids and everything else, then she asked me to leave, so I did. So that's where I am now. I've just this week they've been really supportive actually, but they had a sort of a occupational health thing, and they declared that I was unfit for work, which I think I probably have. So yeah, and there isn't, there's a helpline I can talk to.
Is that the men's advice line? Because I've got a few people tweeting me that.
There's the men's advice line.
What do they?
I've spoken to them.
Yeah. What do they say? What can they offer?
Well, nothing. They're a national organisation. Their operating budget is more than the charity that for my city. Yeah. The best thing, it is not. To go back to what we were saying, I suppose, I get it's more women. Okay, we can argue about the numbers, but I get it's more women, but it is disproportionately.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We can be angry at that. Definitely.
Yeah. So I've spoken to them obviously, but they're like the Samaritans. They're a number you can call and speak to. They can't advocate for you. They can't offer any practical support. And with social services, I think because there is this, I think the the way that my ex was abusive and has since has been sort of very obviously emotionally abusive to me and also my kid as well. Let's not forget her in this. It's a lot more complicated, isn't it, than I think we find the idea that men hit people and even that men do worse things than that. We find that kind of easy to understand. Not to understand, but yes.
People are showing me a thing called Mankind as well. Have you spoken to them?
Yeah, of course I have. Of course I have. Yeah. I mean, of course I have. And the reality is, obviously, I have seen GPs and they referred me to a sort of a kind of a crisis service, I suppose. But really, you know what it's like. I mean, the only two things really in the kind of clinical armour for this sort of thing, isn't it? Is talking about it or medication. And I think the thing is that I don't think I've got a chemical imbalance, and I don't think that I'm thinking about it in, I don't think if I reframe how I think about it, then it will make it okay. I think that I'm objectively in a terrible and pretty hopeless situation. I can hang on, I suppose, for the possibility that in the future it might get better in some way, but
well, I mean, enough. No, and I don't need to go into any specifics. But sort of roughly, how old is your daughter?
Yeah, she's 9.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, she's very young, and is going to be influenced by everything that obviously her mother says. I guess one tiny ray of light has to be that at some point, when she's older, she's going to want to get your side of things.
I know that, and the thing is, in the nicest possible way, everyone says the same thing, and that's not their fault. It's because there's so little you can say, isn't there? There's so, it could happen, but I think it's probably more likely that a kid who is, living with someone like that for, the rest of their childhood, I think probably will grow up to believe those things happened, and also will grow up to be a really messed up adult.
Well, there is that, yeah, possibly. There's a lot of us are messed up adults, but we still get by. I would hang on to the optimism that at some point they're going to want to know your side of the story. I know, I know it happens.
Yeah. It's.
But that ain't much of a thing to hold on to. I appreciate that as well. I appreciate that as well.
It's very obviously painful each day. To get through each day, just holding out for the slim chance of that. At some point, maybe in the future, possibly, is difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. So how did you get through today? How do you get through? What did you do today to make it to 1 o'clock on a Thursday night?
I basically obsessively played Grand Theft Auto.
Hey!
Because it blocks out. I need to do anything. I had a jigsaw app on my phone. Was the last thing I was doing. Just playing jigsaws on my phone. Just doing anything that stops me.
What are you playing Grand Theft Auto on? PS4?
No, I've never played a PS3, so for me it's like the height of technology.
Yeah.
I've always had a family, so I've never, I've never replayed those things. So, I can buy games for $5, and it's
beautiful,
amazing.
Yeah.
But it's not. The problem I've got with that really is that each day that goes by, it kind of gets worse. It goes. I've not seen my younger child for a few weeks because my last partner, who was not in any way abusive, is a lovely person, but I think feels that I'm not well enough to see them, and I can't. When I did, I really tried, but she'd sort of asked me why I was sad, and so she obviously could pick up on it in some way. And I need to sort it out. I need to tackle those things. I need to try and make something better. But the problem is that I can't. I fought so hard. I fought so hard for the last 7 years or whatever, and the court battle and just getting over the horrible trauma of being arrested and everything else, and just the stress of also knowing that it was going to come. It's been really hard, and I think it's finally beaten me. And I think that with domestic abuses, I think they, male and female, they're a particular breed. They can't. The problem they have is they can't. They've got this obsessive need for control, and they can't let that control go. And I think even if you leave them, they cannot let that control go, because for them, that's it's completely not how they think the world should be. People shouldn't be able to, you should not be able to walk away from them. You should not, that's the opposite to what should happen. So they will keep coming for you, for, forever, unless, someone stops them, or unless you die. And, no one's going to stop her because, people don't think it really happens. The police and social services don't really take it that seriously.
Tony, we're at the end of the show, brother. Listen.
Right, sorry.
No. There's not.
Depressing note to end.
No, nothing to apologise to. I would like to apologise to you because maybe I misjudged the first bit of the, the first bit of the call.
I promise you, I get it. I get that when men say, "What about men?" they come across as absolute dicks, and I get that.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that we locked horns at the start, but I'm really glad. I feel privileged that you shared what you did with us. And I know a lot of people are going to be, wishing you the very best of luck, whatever good that does.
Well, what I don't want to happen is I don't want it to be a, as I say, an anti-feminist.
No, it's not. It's not.
But, or to be used as that.
No, it's not.
Because, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. Okay.
You can give us a call any time, Tony. And just if you want to chat about PlayStation 3, you'll be very welcome to chat about PlayStation 3.
Okay, well, about 10 years too late, but yeah, okay.
Take care, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Well, maybe I misjudged the start of that, but we've got all the other callers. Deary me. Some people, who's that the woman? Did you block the woman in the end on Twitter?
No.
I think probably now's a good time to block. What's the woman?
Mm-hmm.
What's her Twitter? Can you send me her Twitter handle?
Okay.
I'm blocking. I misjudged the start of that. I can't get it right every time. I shouldn't have gone in all guns a-blazing there. But
where you got to was important.
Exactly, and that's where I knew that's what he wanted to share, and I think the angle was perhaps directed in the wrong place. But who am I to speak? For I know nothing. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Sally, for opening up that conversation. We might come back to that tonight at 10. The last hour is really turning into a sort of separate part of the show all by itself, which is something we've not encouraged, but is happening, and I'm very happy for it to go that way if that's what people want. We will be back tonight at 10 o'clock. Stay tuned. Paul Ross is coming up.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you.
Absolutely not.
What's down the back of your sofa? Half a pretzel? That long-lost TV remote? But what if you found a wad of cash? Now we're talking.
And that was
what about a
when we were
goose
deep
that lays
into
golden eggs?
into the actual what was going on.
It's nice to get more than you expected. New
Nasty,
Euro
nasty
Millions
piece
hot
of
picks
work.
from the National Lottery. Pick and match 3 balls
I
and
feel
win
with that, I feel very bad.
£1,500. Play every Tuesday and Friday. Prizes are fixed, subject to capping. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 or over.
There are so many things that you can take away from the experience.
I learned that I was very much a leader.
I now have confidence to say, this is me, this is who I am. I definitely think that NCS helps people find their passion.
That last
It's
hour has
really
been a really
outgoing
crisis.
The adventure of meeting
But
new
it's
people
funny,
and new
it's funny because the
experiences.
first 2 hours this week in particular has been very jolly,
I am a more confident individual as a result. It's amazing. I wouldn't change any moment of it. I feel powerful, incredible.
Unstoppable. Search NCS to find out more.
Days and weeks can fly by, but if you're worried it's cancer, time can slow down and almost stop. That's why.
Join me, Iain Lee, for interesting conversations you don't usually hear on the radio.
Week Monday, I get shoes. Dolly Parton, I listen to a record all day long.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
That was the most profoundly upsetting call I've ever heard in my life.